CC to kind of get back into this series. So Shambali Monastery, we'll see what they decide to do in terms of bans. Maybe they ban the Ramatra here and make it like Diva Zarya.
I think the Ramatra ban would be incredibly potent. Scary thing is you do have to win back-to-back. As close as Team CC were on Ilios, you don't get any points for trying. You've got to close out those
They can't ban Diva again, right?
True.
So that is a...
Хайдон ТЧЧ.
I mean, this whole pool, I guess you could play Winston on New Queen Street, but you're forcing it, frankly. This is a pool, this is a meta for some of these off-tank teams, at least teams that show flexibility.
Gushue can play ball. And New Queen Street, we have seen some ball comps, yeah, and he's looked pretty good on the Wrecking Ball, so maybe that's something they would decide to pull out a little bit later in the tournament. But yeah, with Shambali Monastery coming up, we have seen this as a go-to pick for a lot of teams now at this event. I mean, you think about, I know, Varel against Falcons, right? This is kind of where they took them, and they were able to get a win.
I mean, I think we're going to see a ton of Shambali in this tournament, especially because Escort is often a very powerful map pick. Different Escort maps are so different in the pool.
Oh.
And Team CC, very interesting choice. They banned the Sojourn, which doesn't protect a tank pick, right? They're going to be, you know, losing the Zarya on Shambali,
hold on.
which is a pretty surprising loss. Maybe they feel like they can deal with the Ramatra, with the Diva as an alternate.
Does Team CC want to play Sim?
Maybe.
Getting
I mean,
rid of
have
this,
we seen that from
No,
like,
not really. But hey, you know, you get here to EMEA, you start to get a little Sim pilled, right?
You play a couple scrims against Twisted Minds, you're like, maybe Sim's the meta.
Hey, you see T1, right? Coming out with Sim with a Sig, their own kind of variation.
The Sojourn ban
getting rid of the Sojourn,
is a powerful tool, right? Because Sojourn, generally, I mean, Freya is pretty competitive as a strong hit scan against the Symmetra, but dropping that Disruptor shot on the TP, really painful to fight into.
Yeah, so maybe it could be a little bit of Sim action here from Team CC. The Zarya gone, feels like it's going to be now Ramatra available. But hey, let's say if Team CC, maybe it's something you've kind of had like up your sleeve, you don't mind the Zarya gone if you're going to play some Sim, right? You get Ramatra and Diva into the mix, potentially, with the Sim, and now you get the Sojourn gone on a map that Sim is actually pretty good here on Shambali Monastery, being able to kind of move around. So maybe it's a little bit of a wild card strat here, something up their sleeves for Team CC.
I got to be honest, I would have preferred the Ram ban because I think if you go into map 3, you're going to be able to get a tank protect off for Weibo. And so to not, I mean, this is a perfect map for Ramatra. I don't even think Zarya is like that great on this map. Maybe you're willing to drop it, but a Ram mirror is, I think, best case scenario for Weibo Gaming on a Team CC map pick.
Yeah, you're probably right. I don't think they would have like. No, I think Team CC is actually fine, probably playing the Ram mirror here against Weibo, although it probably is a little bit more comfortable for Weibo to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But it feels like the Zarya pick could have been a little bit more impactful. Like, let's say, I know we go to like a New Junk City, let's say, or something like that. You could have actually decided to have that ban available for that one.
And for me, Matt, map 2 is such a crucial point in a series. I mean, especially in these first twos, because, well, it could be the end of the series.
Yeah, it's early here, but you're on fire today.
I'm on fire with the analysis. But
you guys hear that?
But
Game
this is
2
your most
in a
powerful
first
punch back. This is, okay, you lost map 1. You have the biggest possible range of choices. You have tons of hero bans left open. You have total control of the map pool. This is where the coaches need to show their worth, need to bring us somewhere and generate a real advantage. So we'll see, is this Sojourn ban taking that out of size toolkit, is it really going to limit it?
Bring out the Sim. Your Team CC.
I mean, I like what you're cooking, but is this in Team CC's wheelhouse? Is it something that they can pilot? Like,
maybe not. I wouldn't have put it in T1's wheelhouse. and they piloted it.
The world is becoming sim-pilled.
Yup. And
slowly.
hey, here we go. Out the spawn. Guess what? Cassidy
what a read.
Yup. Yeah, you know.
Okay.
I was hanging out with the Team CC coach.
Love it.
No,
you're close. You and Billy Dang like this.
I mean, yeah, everybody knows me and Billy Dang go way back.
Way back.
Yeah, I mean way back. This is a really interesting comp though from CC, right? It's going to potentially cause some issues for Gushue and Weibo Gaming, right? The Cassidy, very difficult to take down, can kind of pump a lot of damage into a hero like a Ramatra, and then that Sim makes it very difficult to kind of chase this team down.
I mean, in fairness, Alcazia showed this is a winning formula. The question now, is the execution there? is Team CC
Right.
ready? Because Freya and Echo, you're talking about Shy and Leave on the other side. You're giving them the chance to have near free reign on this map. It's all on the Pineapple to stand up. I mean, he's going to have massive resources behind him, but he still needs to connect those shots, still needs to punish the backline.
And Owcs and TM can make this work against very volatile comps against it, because obviously they played it, thousands of times into some of, really nasty kind of burst comps, poke comps against the sim. Don't imagine Team CC has a lot of reps playing against this.
It's a powerful tool, but how are they going to use this teleporter? For now, wise to play it pokey. I mean, this is the right way to play the sim style, right? Willing to go long into the fights, willing to poke it out, waiting for Pineapple to find his chances. But as Weibo pulls this cart meter by meter, start to feel the pressure for Team CC. It's an extended fight against some of the best duelists in the world. Pineapple now steps up and takes an explosive bolt to the face. Now it's Leave up in your face on the venture, and this cart is still ticking away from you. Only 1 minute elapsed on the clock, and Weibo had pulled this quite far. Billy Deng eats that shot, and so still a fight to be had, but Weibo in full control of this engagement. They look comfortable on the Ramattra.
Yeah, this isn't exactly the line of sight you want to be fighting it. With the Cassidy, as Kaneki uses the TP, it is very easily read there by Weibo, and they just blow them up as they come on through it.
I mean, Shy just sees that teleporter, pumps it full of explosive bolts, and you're teleporting into a very bad scenario. Gushue, Leave, they're waiting for you.
Yeah, wouldn't exactly say it's TM or Alcatsia.
You need this touch.
Yeah, you
need this
really
fight. Oh, he's looking for the boot pop. Hold on, Diva. She's not gonna make it. Leave. Secures first checkpoint for his team. Wasted rush from far away, and Weibo want more.
Yes, I mean, Weibo can definitely push up here, right? Shy nearing another bola shot, just pumping so much damage into Team CC that Pineapple can't really answer in terms of these line of sights. Very long here. They rush down, and they finally do get Shy.
All right, they're getting active. They're getting aggressive, taking some of the limiters off. Billy Deng finds Shy. Now the rest of Weibo, are they going to fight this out? Are they going to try and retreat? Mew refuses to back down, rips the beat. Counter beat is good from Halyo-chan. High noon, good enough to burst down Leave. Takes down Mew as well, and a third on the platter.
A huge play there from Pineapple. Takes out a few, and now I wonder, so in EMEA, we see a lot of close holds here on this map specifically with the sim. I wonder if Team CC feels confident enough to do that. It looks like they actually have Billy Deng in position. They might want to play quite aggressive around this corner. It looks like a few shots there, though, from Shy. Backed them up to the high ground.
Hugo's Brig. I don't think I've seen this response before. Brig is not particularly tanky when facing down a Symmetra. So we'll see how Mew navigates this. Shy taking a wide angle, putting a bit of pressure on Cart at the same time from the rest of Weibo. Team CC playing this one a little bit slower. They TP behind, making a bit of space, but not finding the opportunity to initiate. It's a disconnected play.
Now that the TP's gone, they are so out of position.
Oh, it's not good. Matt, they're bleeding out. Sim wall pops, but Gushue has done the damage. Sim is down, they're pulling Cart away. Team CC, they look uncomfortable on this comp, downright forcing it.
Jake, they took the TP, everybody, down to the low ground, and the TP was basically at 50% HP.
Oh, tech shock is huge. Lining them up, big damage into the backline. Once again, Team CC, they're alive, but at what cost? Forced away. Ram Shield cannot allow Leave to continue to pressure this part. They just cap again, Team CC. They're falling apart, Matt.
Yeah, they have flipped this constantly, where they're kind of playing from the offensive side on defense, and they have just allowed Weibo to run away with the cart. So a lot like as we get a little bit of a battle here between Monk and Kaneki, as Monk gets the stop there, but this is like 2 or 3 times now where they kind of flipped the map, allowed Weibo to get insane cart progress. So they win one fight after, but it's not good enough. And you can tell, Jake, they were not comfortable with that. They are going to go and play an Echo and Ramattra. Mix it up.
I mean, coming back to a look that's much more comfortable for them, but the damage may have been done. Weibo have all the team fight ults they could hope for here. Team CC have to make a miracle happen. They need to stop this card progress. Weibo are crushing through this map on a record pace for this tournament. The rush deployed from Monk takes more space away. The card continues to roll. Team CC beaten High Noon deployed. Pineapple, a big channel. Is it enough? Just gets fast out of it. Mew is there, but Kaneki has found Shy. There's still a fight to be had. Team CC not backing down, but Billy Deng caught in the Ravenous Vortex. Gushue steps up again and again on this Ramattra. So comfortable here in the front line. And Weibo, they're on the verge of capping 3 minutes on the clock. Matt, Team CC falling apart, forcing a strategy that they obviously are not comfortable with. And this would be a sad way to go out of the tournament.
I would say it is safe to assume they were not comfortable there on the sim.
I gotta tell you, Matt, as I've coached a team or two, I'd have my head on my desk right now. It wouldn't be good.
I mean, the few times they use the TP to try and like get behind, they all take it in like Weibo just runs away. Like they just get rid of the TP. So now it's just horrible positioning there from Team CC, and they really give themselves no opportunity to fight out of it. Just a brutal first half from Team CC. Weibo, no, that was they were able to deal with that. I mean, with ease. I mean, they were never worried about it.
And Team CC, there's been glimmers of greatness for this squad. There's been moments where it feels like they're on the verge of turning the next page, changing the story here. Always second place here in Chinese Overwatch, but maybe steal that second for just a little bit longer, or maybe more than that. I mean, Weibo,
well, here's
kind
the
of
issue
been crushing them in this series.
Let's say they look much better with it on offense, and they're able to force some of these positions and whatnot. You gave up a 3-minute time bank here on Shimbali Monastery. There's no way you're going to finish with a better time bank unless Weibo just like rolls over the entire map.
I will say the good thing is this is Escort. So, to be honest, if you just get any kind of a finish on this map, if you get cap in overtime, that could be good enough for a win. You're gonna need a big overtime push on offense, but it is still winnable. Team CC, this is the moment. Mental fortitude. They've got to be composed. They've got to be focused. TPN taking this off angle. They're a little bit disjointed on the TP, but they get through now. Taking the fight to Weibo. Guxue gives right back, gets right in there with the form. Team CC not healthy enough, and Kaneki goes down without your sim. That's all of your damage. Team CC started to crumble. Pineapple finds one, but they need more than that. They need some good trades. Billy then gets a second, and so hold on. Weibo got the first pick that fight, but we're a little bit slow to get the cleanup, and now this is turning quite good for Team CC. Remember, their spawn is right here. They're happy to take these trades.
Yeah, they have a huge advantage having that close spawn. So you will see Guxue fall, Mew fall, Monk as well. So now Team CC will get the cart rolling. But you know, when you watch Alcatia and TM, the two best sim teams we have, one of the things that you kind of start to realize with a lot of these is like, you know, the way that they're so successful is like rarely is like a UB or Psycho, whoever's in for TM, or Checkmate of the first guest, right?
Yeah.
You allow that sim to kind of keep that utility rolling, the damage start to rolling. You know, Kaneki cannot drop first in some of these fights because then all the benefits of the sim out the window.
Not an easy comp to pilot, and coming up to this corner, gonna be a new challenge. High noon opener for Pineapple. He's taking all this damage. TP up, falls down, but tries, still candled on already. Moved down by the break, but Guxue Mew brawling this one out. The trades should favor Weibo on the defense. Leave Guxue fighting in these low numbers. They are very comfortable here. It's all up to Kaneki and Faraway, but it just feels impossible. Guxue, full stack HP, gonna get these cleanup kills. And the clock has run dry. I mean, this is looking pretty rough for Team CC.
Now, if you're Team CC, right, you're thinking about, like, you get one really good fight with these support ults, and if you don't win that one, you are in dire straits the rest of the map, right? Minute 52 here. Let's say this next fight, you're around like a minute 30, use both support ults, you lose that, you're below a minute, and you're in a world of trouble.
It's your last two chances here. Tournament life on the line. Team CC, you've been here so many times, and every time it's gone against you. There's that moment. Fear starts to creep into your heart, but you cannot allow it. Team CC, they're gonna rip the ults. They're gonna step up. Trading with Monk's Rush, they wait out the Kitsune Rush. A much later, stronger rush for CC. Haoyutan takes down Guxue, and now an opportunity for CC. They look to be capping this first point. Leave has to fall back. Beautiful flash from Pineapple, reads the movement, and that's gonna open up first checkpoint. The start that you needed for Team CC.
Doamne ajută.
Yeah, I mean, they get that pick on a shy early.
Doamne ajută că au luat la 3. Acum hai, pușați.
And you know, Kaneki's sim wall kind of splits off some of the members of Weibo Gaming, right? So not taking a ton of damage there for Team CC, and they've moved up, try and take this position. They need to make up a lot of time here, Jake.
TP wide on the high ground. Just a poke. Just a prod, just looking for those opportunities. Card continues to roll. Leave, gonna open up with the tech shock here. Gets straight up into the back line, lines them up, but too much counter pressure, has to back off. Still enough damage to take down Kaneki. The team comes in, beat too late for the Lucio of Team CC. And Weibo get the fight they were hoping for. Stifling the momentum. Pineapple too scared to swing that. knows that the team is backing up Leave on this corner. Team CC, how are they gonna rotate through this? Very low on the ultimates. They've got to play this one perfectly. Getting too close to Gushui could be a death sentence in this next fight.
Yeah, and the timing there. Leave able to find Kaneki. No, it's going to be a rally here from you as a TP. They just go right up to the high ground, and they just get mowed down. I mean, they take, everybody takes that TP. They go up to the high ground. Mew is there with a rally. Let's get a listen into Team CC, see if they can come up clutch here and extend the series.
我有灵狐了，他们也假7号楼还是假7号楼 A 这边嘛，假7号楼这边视角。提前走呗，3、2、1。哎，不亮！我没有领到了，我可以交灵狐了，等一会儿，先推车。他们灵狐快了。会大。无水晶。别推！拉百迪！我操，人家特枪倒卡呀！我操。
It's just a couple of minutes left on the clock. Team CC, the desperation starting to creep into their voices there. But this could be their best chance yet, man. Weibo Gaming completely dry in the ult bank. Team CC have a couple of powerful tools to work with. How will they choose to approach this walk-up?
They've just been so easily read, though, Jake. Like, they drop the TP, and everybody just takes it. And, you know, it's not like how we see from some of the other sim TPs where, you know, in other teams, right, where you TP 1 or 2 players, get off angles, TP them back.
There we go.
That is Mew just standing there in the alleyway, and he gets poked down there by Kaneki. Some shots from Pineapple as well.
TP's in, but Shy punishes. Leave takes down Kaneki. And despite getting the opener onto Mew, Team CC crumbling in this fight once again. Weibo just keep cleaning it up. Way too much pressure from the off angles. The DPS doing their jobs immaculately, and Tectonic Shock, such a challenging ult to fight into, especially the way Leave is piloting this venture.
And Team CC needs to be really careful here, though. Like,
if you
TP up, you're gonna get hit with the Tectonic Shock, and Mew is gonna hit you with that stun on this rally, and it is going to be GG as Kaneki taking a ton of damage here at range from Gushui. He needs to stay up.
The poke is threatening. Leave so annoying. Stimwall deployed is going to get a bit of space for Team CC. Weibo can back off this. They're coming up on 5 ultimates for what could be the decisive team fight here. Team CC getting the space they need, but Weibo going to be right back into this action, choosing to fight the corner. Leave stalls for the moment. Rush comes in first. Brig extremely low, but gets that bastard. That Pineapple fighting at close range. Has to roll that, has to find something, but can't get a single connection there. Team CC, though, they're still healthy. Billy Dank still holding the front line. That ult continuing to tick away. Weibo, the tank starts to run dry, but Gushui could be their hero. Has the final ultimate, has what could be the checkmate move. Weibo starts to step up once again. CC fully energized, Sim cooking away. You cannot lose a player here. Team CC, they have to fight this one out perfectly. Gushui's still alive. Shy on the back line, looking for something. The TP turns to response, and Shy takes down Pineapple. Team CC, and maybe their final moments here in Stockholm. Weibo have done it so many times before, and here, they will do it once again.
Weibo Gaming gets a 2-0 there over Team CC. Dude, they get Gushui so low there at the end, the annihilation rolling, and they are just not able to take him down. And then, you know, insult to injury, Shy on a flank comes up with 3. Not able to protect that back line. An interesting call there. I was like, the sim would work. You know, a lot of teams who are good at the sim probably it looks a bit different.
Matt. I'm telling you, should have been Ram.
Hey, you know, maybe they thought their sim comp was a bit better than that, but they do not pilot it well for a lot of the map, and Team CC, they just take advantage of it.
It's far from a free win, and Weibo felt so comfortable. It felt like the longer we went down the stretch, the better they were. Ilios made me a believer, though, man. CC showed real fight. That was an incredibly close map on what should have been an extreme comfort zone for Weibo, but in the end, Team CC, they take a gamble, they take a big risk, going for an unconventional style, and it doesn't pay off today. This time it's Weibo advancing, carrying the banner for Chinese Overwatch.
And we will see Weibo later in the day, right? We have another loser match as well. So for me, it's like, all right, you did this against Team CC, as Avril noted on the desk, undefeated against Team CC throughout the year. All right, you win this, awesome, great. You don't finish 9 through 12. Can you actually take down one of these teams from Korea, EMEA, or North America? Remains to be seen. Let's go to Danny on the stage with Gushwei to hear his thoughts.
Thanks so much, man. Yes, Danny Lim here, joined by Gushwei, coming out from a clean 2-0 victory against Team CC. Great job, fantastic job. Round of applause, everybody.
非常好的表现，恭喜今天的比赛。
All right, Gushwei, you know, I just have to ask. I mean, you guys look really clean compared to yesterday. I feel like you guys are on a very, like, a different level compared to yesterday. What was the game plan coming into today's match?
今天的比赛的表现呈现出比起昨天更加好、更加上一层楼的表现。那么针对今天的这场表现呢，有没有？
我打细节，我打细项，我用不了。我有细节就。
最主要原因就是昨天在第2张图开始之后，我们的 BP 和沟通会就比较混乱。然后昨天打完之后，我们昨晚花了很久时间去聊这个问题，准备今天。我觉得今天也会比昨天打得更好的。
I think the main problem from yesterday is the second map. We're having some chaotic communication and also some problems with the BP. And we did a lot of reviews yesterday when we come back, and we did our homework. So I think that's the key to today's success.
I want to ask another thing. I mean, you are here for the World Finals in Stockholm. How does it feel to be back in LAN environment, Gushwei? Are you excited?
那回到斯德哥尔摩总决赛这个舞台，这个国际性的舞台，那现在有什么感受呢？
首先这也是我第一次来欧洲打比赛，我觉得这里是个非常漂亮的城市，而且也是第一次来这种欧洲打线下赛，我觉得体验感也非常好。
This is my first experience in Europe to do the LAN match, and I'm feeling really good. And Stockholm is a beautiful city, so I'm happy to be here.
Stockholm is definitely beautiful. Gushwei, thank you so much. Before I let you go though, one final question. You guys did knock out Team CC. Team CC, so any final words for Team CC?
最后有没有想对老朋友和老对手 Team CC 说的话？
我觉得可能对不住 CC 吧，因为在这种时候是我们把 CC 淘汰掉了，我觉得还是挺对不住他们的。
I feel sorry that we kicked you guys out. Sorry for that.
Don't feel sorry. I mean, you guys are the better team. That's why they won. Everybody, give it up for Gushwei one more time.
谢谢。
Thank you, everybody. Let's head back to the desk.
Oh man, Danny just wants to see the world burn, you know. But you have to feel bad for Team CC because looking at the start of this series, Necra, they played it so close, way closer than anyone would have expected, really.
It was really impressive too because I think it played out exactly the way that we thought it would. We got the Ilios map, we get the Diva ban, and still we see Weibo come out on top, and it was off the back of that impressive Winston play on Gushwei, and even still with building on Zarya, a matchup that you would not expect the Zarya to win, you still win a round on Well, and then you make Lighthouse so close. It was 99 to 100.
Very surprising. I think like this has been a bit of a weakness for Weibo where they couldn't quite get the Ilios versus LKC as well. They really need to make sure that this is one of their key maps that they go to Ilios because they will prioritize this map choice every time in the first map if they can. That it has to be a win. So this was a little tight for them. You really shouldn't be losing to Zarya on Ilios. They actually did get that win eventually, but you just want to have that tightened up. Other than that, I think Weibo, like I sort of said, coming into this game, they have the superior record against CC. There's a bit of a mental gap there. I think CC are a capable team that can take down Weibo on paper. However, that 7-0 gap is now extended to 8-0 all-time head-to-head between the two teams.
You know, he didn't have to spell it out, but thanks.
But I think it's being honest, but I hope that there's a lot of hope. We already saw Team C level up throughout the season, and then heading into this first map of the series versus Weibo, I think the fact that it was even as close as it is, that means that China overall is going to be leveling up as a region, and I'm really excited about what that means for next year.
And it's especially surprising. I think the cast has touched on that a lot, right? Like, we said it also already, like, this is the map for Weibo. Like, they get to play their dive. They are playing in their comfort zone. So for Team CC to make it so close and make Weibo work so hard for that victory on map 1, that is a massive achievement.
It is, and I think that exactly how Avril put it, this is what we want to see from Weibo to give us a lot more confidence heading into the rest of the tournament. They did not win Ilios with the Diva ban yesterday, and off the back of such strong Zarya play, Avril, I'm really surprised that they didn't try to prioritize doing that again on Shambali.
Yeah, they left the Zarya ban open for Weibo, and like I sort of said coming into this one, you only have very limited maps. Every map choice counts, every ban counts. You cannot go into map 2 with Prio on your side, and you leave the Zarya open. They went for a Soj ban, which I don't agree with at all. Soj does not have to be the character that Shy relies on this tournament. He has Ashe in the back pocket. He has the Freya as well. He's got multiple choices we can lean into. He's no longer seen as this, I guess, majority Soj and one trick, right, that he was for a majority of his career. So it's dangerous to go for a priority ban on Soj when Shy is not going to get affected by that. But Billy Dang not getting the Zarya, when the Zarya versus Zarya matchup should be the priority matchup for CC, getting the Zarya banned by Weibo means you're forced to Ram, and that's what Gushui wants. Gushui's been putting a lot of time into Ram. He's not a Winston one trick anymore either. He's put a lot of time to Ram. He wants to play the Ram matchup versus CC.
Well, we have seen Weibo look so strong on their dive. They have worked so hard to be able to play that brawl. And I hope that that's going to be something that we can see success from the fruits of that labor. At the end of the day, though, it is going to be Weibo that does get that 2-0 victory over Team CC. And it is sad to not see Team CC be able to go further in this tournament.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. I mean, they showed us 2 impressive days of play, and we're very excited for what the future holds for that team. But this is the end of their World Finals journey, as this was a first to 2 in the lower bracket, and now we have to say goodbye to Team CC.
Yeah, I do wonder if they got a different opponent. Maybe we got to play, you know, BFI first to 3 instead for a different matchup. They could have had it. One day, I think CC might get the better of Weibo, but it just wasn't going to be today. Unfortunately, a flawless record for Weibo versus CC this year, and really hope to see what CC can bring to us in the future.
S-a jucat decât în lower brackets până acum.
Their opponents, SSG or Varel. Which of these
SSG
two
cu
would you rather see them play against?
I
Varel.
think Weibo would be better equipped against probably Varel, but I don't know. I think Weibo have a good matchup against both. This is a very winnable game for Weibo either way. So Weibo's opportunity to progress in the bracket versus SG and Varel is quite high.
Na.
With the Ramatra, I think Weibo does have the ability
Dacă ar fi ca Varel să bată pe SSG,
but I think that you cannot count out
Varel
either
nu cred că o să câștige
Space
împotriva
or
la
Varel, and I
Weibo.
think that matchup is going to be really
Nu
exciting
cred.
to see.
Yeah, we will find out who they will be facing off against very soon, as SSG and Vero are coming up next. First, we're heading into a quick break, but don't go too far, because we will be right back with more World Finals action.
SSG sau Varel? E puțin gamble aici între SSG sau Varel. Dar eu pariez pe Varel. Eu pariez pe Varel.
你数个3、2、1吧。那个。
3、2、1。
1600. 1600 pe Varel.
我们是微博 Gaming， 感谢大家对我们的支持，我们会努力打出好成绩。
Da, nu, pariez pe Varel. Pariez pe Varel. Și acum pauză pentru meciul următor, presupun, nu? Da. Iar. Da.
Pathetic. Leave no survivors. You're finished. Disgraceful. Not good enough. Dirt beneath my heel.
Wouldn't want to be
Enough games. Taste the Palatine Fang. Know your place. Bow down. Que codardia. Oh, impressive. Arriva la punizione! And so, my reign begins.
Da.
2025 Overwatch World Finals is brought to you by DHL.
ニコがこっちで。
順番は前に戻ってもらえませんか。トップドラゴンはめっちゃ背が高いので。
同じやってなんかすぐなんかこれやって。
こんにちは、バレルです。一生でも多く世界大会で、勝ちを取ってくるので、皆さん応援よろしくお願いします。
Doamne ajută.
Welcome back, one and all, to the 2025 OWCS World Finals at DreamHack Stockholm here in beautiful, although very cold, Sweden. I am Zoe, joined by Necra and Avril here on the desk to break it all down. We're fighting our way through the lower bracket, saying goodbye to 6 teams. Team CC just lost their battle against Weibo, and we are now heading into our second lower bracket match. This one is going to be between SSG and Varel. And before we give our thoughts on the teams, let's hear what everyone else had to say about SSG.
SSG doesn't push as hard as some of the other teams.
Passionless. Passion? We got some passion.
They're steady, they're structured, but they're not the ones grinding with the same level of fire as others every day.
Every team probably looks at us like, yeah, that team is just passionless, but like they'll still lose to us because we're good.
I really think if we play to our level, we can beat them pretty easily.
Still, they've got a clear goal in mind. It's finishing above Team Liquid.
We're here to do better than Liquid and get top 6.
They know their style works when a match slows down. They stay calm, they stay clean, and they wait for mistakes.
I friend with Sugarfree, so yeah, if I beat him, then yeah, it's like gonna be fun.
They're getting last. They're actually gonna get last.
Don't say that.
I mean, we might play them. I hope we do, honestly. I'd love to knock them out.
But to reach the placement they want, they need to show more urgency, more bite.
I'll give you $10,000 personally.
I'll give you all the prize money. I'll give you all the prize money.
It goes to you.
Like, they have Hawk and Lenny, and they're like, super good, like, mechanically, individually, but I think, like, just in general, their team doesn't play the game how you should play Overwatch. I will say, though, like, I think their biggest weakness, for me at least, is their flexibility.
SSG may not be the loudest team in the field, but they're locked on their target and seeing red.
I think we're good for a top 6. Our bracket, we probably got the easiest bracket out of any team, so I think we have a good chance at least making top 6 in this tournament.
Well, that video was off to a start. Passionless, straight out of the gate, is what they called themselves. I had to do a double take there. It's like, hold on. But yeah, let's discuss what we've seen from SSG thus far. And we should be going back, like way back at the beginning, like this season, what it's been looking like for them, because they were one of the teams that did not make it to the mid-season championship, but they did redeem themselves in the last stage. They did come second.
That's right. Space Station have definitely looked a lot better, especially when they did make the adjustments. They got a new coach into the roster, Christopher, who's had such a legacy behind him as one of the coaches in the Overwatch League for the London Spitfire. And now with this Space Station gaming squad, this is the one that you have to look at and be hopeful that they can continue to hold the hopes of North America high. But as you heard a lot of the other competitors say, I mean, there is a question mark behind this team's flexibility. Where there's one saving grace for them, I do think that now that the meta has shifted a little bit more towards needing to play those off tanks, that's where Hawk comes in, and he's the GOAT. He hasn't skipped a single beat coming back into OWCS after his hiatus from the Overwatch League.
And not only did they come second, but it's actually a close finals as well, 3 and 4. So they nearly even beat Team Liquid in that final. But I feel like for some reason, this has been a bit of a weaker showing for SG so far, to the point where Crazy Raccoon are doing troll bans versus them. Like, that was
They did ban Mercy versus them.
Very uncompetitive series between SSG and Crazy Raccoon. And so, you know, maybe it's just the case that SSG are thinking, okay, unlikely bit Crazy Raccoon. You even heard in the interview that SG kind of looking to say, we can make the top 6, they'll be quite happy with that one. I think they have the capability to go a little bit further than that if they really lock in time. They have strong players. You know, the other teams spoke about that, but I don't know. They do seem a little passionless this tournament, so I need to see them lock in.
Where is that coming from? Are you just bandwagoning because you heard it in the video? Like,
if they say it,
what shows passion? You need to, like, what will make you feel like they're passionate about it?
If Hawk brings out the Rhine, I'm kidding.
But actually don't. No, but like, yeah, I mean, it's like one of those questions, like, do you need passion? If you're just good at the game, like, you don't need to, like, I don't know, put up a dance every time on stage. Although I do appreciate those kind of intermissions as well. But you know, it's all just about the performance here today, because this is an all or nothing game for not just SSG but also for their opponents. Varel is one of those teams that are like kind of the winner of the hearts wherever they go. Why do people love Varel so much, Avro? What is it about?
I mean, they've been a fan favorite in Japan for the longest time. They've been a core of a roster that's been together. God, definitely more than 3 years, probably running close to 4 or 5 years, because they even played as a core back in the Contenders days as well.
World Cup as well.
Yeah, I mean, now this is the best version of Varel that we've seen. So Varel have gone from strength to strength.
Yeah, let's hear what all the teams have to say about Varel.
Ce mă, părerea lor? Ah, nu, Varel. Okay.
Play. Kind of like lost puppies.
We played them at EWC last year, and they weren't that tough of a match for us.
Varel is kind of like an underdog, right?
Peps.
They respect them, sure. Everyone says they're good guys, solid teammates, and easy to root for.
Honestly, their team's very likable. Like, no bad blood. Like, they made it here, you know? Like, to be here is an achievement itself.
When you come from like a minor region, like they're doing everything they can to lift themselves up and compete on the big stage, like you just have to respect it.
O să primim un câștig un cuz nou.
But worried?
No.
Not really.
Și
A lot of
plus,
teams look
nu
at
vorbesc
Varel
acum
and see
despre
an
Piggy,
easy
n-am
match
treabă cu
win.
Piggy-ul acum.
They kind of only really play double flex support comps.
일본 지역에 막 그렇게 오버워치를 잘한다는 생각하지 않아가지고 막 딱히 막 견제되는 팀은 아닌 것 같습니다.
I remember watching EWC earlier this year, and one of their players shot an Alari ult into the sky.
Oh my god, I do remember that.
That's the only impression I have on that team.
Varel sees things differently. They think people are sleeping on them. Give them the right matchup, the right timing, and they believe they can upset teams.
Da, nu, garantat. Care era faza la Varel? Mulți oameni dormeau pe ei, asta e chestia, gen... Oamenii, asta e chestia, oamenii au potențial enorm, păcat că au pierdut, dar gen... Nu sunt de căcat, ei ca echipă nu sunt de căcat în niciun caz.
You say that you only remember this team because of the Yolari ult coming out from Slay, but that was something that had a massive impact in Varel's first match of the tournament versus Team Falcons. I think that's where you have to look at that and go, well, I mean, that flex backline, Baptiste, Yolari, Cloud, and Slay, they work so well together, and I think that teams have to take that backline
le-au dat un match-up nesimțit, un full mea le-a dat Varel împotriva la Falcon. Ce-i drept, și-au pierdut cu 2-1.
You are opting into double flex.
Dar nici nu știu ce joacă healerilor, de fapt, tot Lucio și... Dar nici nu știu ce joacă, tot Mercy și... Mercy, oameni, Lucio și... Ia, încă nu dau seama ce joacă el, e ca healer. Kiriko, habar n-am. Când o să fie următorul live sau video, deocamdată n-am dat-o. Până în vacanța de iarnă îi scot video, până în vacanță. Iar de vacanță lucrez la alt clip.
Yeah, but we also have to consider who they went up again in that upper bracket, right? They had to go up against Team Falcons. And that is a tough opponent, no matter who you are. Exactly. Like, yes, the first map was a 0-2. Like, that was a quicker affair. But then they woke up, and they really took it to Team Falcons. They did win the second map, and they played it really close on the last map as well.
Runasapi, they had an 80-meter lead. They got control of the push bot right away, and that actually looked like a winnable scenario for them. And so I think they could have done it.
Hai să vedem ce banează. Să vedem ce le banează. Acum te piși pe tine că le banează dracu Lucio.
A better team.
They completely SSG la Varel, nu Varel la SSG.
The first international win at the mid-season championship we just had versus Rock as well. So that was a huge win for Rao because, you know, they're on the world stage now for the first time, at least in that tournament. Now it's their second international showing, and really, like, they are looking good. It's not just from that Falcons game, and there's a feeling behind the scenes as well. I think teams are probably giving more respect than they're really showing publicly towards Varel, and especially I think in a first to two environment as well. Underdogs, in my opinion, have a real strong shot at making an upset happen.
Let's talk about the possibilities here we can see for Varel. Like, what is the key to victory? How do you take down SSG?
Yeah, I think they need to prioritize supports, and I think SSG as well, they're going to want to prioritize Hawk's best picks. So this is a game that's going to be defined by SSG's Lucio Kiriko into the Wuyang Kiriko of Varel.
Da, deci tot Lucio Kiriko.
Some Slay on the Alari as well. They have some couple of picks on there. Maybe the BAP or the Ana could come through. would not want to see Varel really go into subs. They haven't really played subs so far this tournament. They probably shouldn't. And really for the SG side, you know your strengths are going to be landing. I think he can still come through on that Tracer for the Sugar Freeze Tracer. And then Hawk, his Zarya is king, his Diva is king. This is a great meta for him, so lean into that.
I'm really hoping that from Space Station, we do see a little bit more life coming out from some of those picks that Sugar Free can have. Of course, he's a world-class Tracer. I mean, he had a map already in this tournament, T versus Team Peps, where it went 37-0. Like, this guy is still him. But he needs to be able to show more than that, I think, or just show that, you know, you still have confidence in your Tracer. Yes, Tracer did get a little bit of a nerf heading into this tournament, but it's still very viable, and especially on maps where you can actually take those flanks, you need to have that same type of map control that you are going to see when you have a Tracer on the other side.
That's right. Of course, here, their current tournament results, 2 days of plays we already have behind us. There's a little more tape now out there, of course, on SSG. What's the big takeaway of your Varel from what they've seen from Space Station Gaming?
I think right now, Space Station, they are going to be a very tank-dominated team. We talk about Hawk a lot, but I think he is like their most consistent player. A lot of that DPS line as well. We have to talk about Chronic's Freya coming back into that meta. He's always been playing Freya anyway, but that's going to always be a strong choice for him. I think SSG's core composition are going to be a little bit more cut and dry. It's Val that are going to be bringing out a little bit more spice in their comps and taking a bit more of the risk. So you know what SSG's probably going to be bringing to the table. On paper, they should be easy to ban out, but I think between all of Hawk's picks, you can only get one ban and he'll have something in the back of the pocket.
And when you can have an answer to a lot of the tanks in this meta right now, or you at least can be able to play a little bit more reactionary, I guess, to some of those picks, those tank bans are going to be super important so that maybe you can target an individual matchup that you might want to take. But I think outside of like Chronic's Freya, I think we got to talk about Ashe. Ashe, you know, Avril, you already pointed out that Ashe comes back into the meta as a really good hit scam pick, something that you can actually rely upon in some more of these like close range fights. And so I think that Ashe, like when Chronic brought it out yesterday versus Crazy Raccoon, this is something that I think
irelevant. E și e bună doar din cauza că are ultimată, atâta.
Support backline that we have from Varel.
Irrelevant.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very excited to see what both of these teams have in store for us with their tournament lives on the line. This is all or nothing for both of them. So let's send it over to the stage with Adam.
Thank you very much, Zoe. That's right, folks. What a great way to kickstart this competition. Weibo Gaming with one step in the next round, and sadly we say goodbye to Team CC. But this is a snowball rolling down a mountain. We don't stop here. We're on to the next matchup already, and it's time to meet the competitors gracing the stage next. First up, we welcome to the stage Space Station Gaming. Please welcome the players, Chronic, Sugar Free, Hawk, CJ, and Lap.
O zice de parcă n-au mai jucat și au pierdut, dă-i dracu. O zice așa, nu de parcă au mai...
Alright, thank you very much. Best of luck, Space Station Gaming. You may take your seats, gentlemen, and get yourselves ready. We also have the next team. Their challengers coming your way here as well. Please welcome, it's Varel!
Hai la!
On Team Varel, we have Slay, Cloud, KSG, Top Dragon, and Nico! We love to see it. Best of luck, gentlemen, as they take their seats as well and head across to their stations. Wow, we have got ourselves an epic showdown, haven't we, right here, right now. Varel and Space Station Gaming. Once more, who will progress through to the next round? Who will sadly fall away and be packing their bags and going home? We're about to find out. It's time to get started. Here we go.
Haida! Let's go, baby! Yeah!
All right, it's time to get into the action. Space Station Gaming taking on Vero. I'm Jake, I'm joined by Matt and Mr. X, and we're about to have the pleasure of casting this one. I mean, it's a team that the fans have really gotten behind in Vero.
They have.
And this SSG squad, I want to just clarify for the fans. I did some of those team interviews. The question was, what did other teams think about you? I suspect they didn't say our own team is actually passionless. Maybe they did. If they did, that's wild.
That's a wild statement. But no, I mean, Varel has become like a fan favorite, right? As Japan has like grown and blown up with Overwatch over the last few years, and obviously the best team from that region. So seeing them come here, compete on the world stage, they had a really good game playing that double flex support backline against Team Falcons. Not going to catch Christopher and SSG off guard in the slightest, though, because SSG, look, you still have Sugar Free, right? Fantastic player. Hawk is tremendous on a lot of the tanks in the pool right now. First map will be Ilios. For me, for SSG, just keep that back line up. Just keep that back line up. Like, I think Chronic can put together some good games. Also, like, you don't really need him to go crazy when Sugar Free has awesome maps, feels like, all the time. So, for me, it's like, can you keep that back line alive, right? The early bans are in. So, SSG, they get rid of the Zarya here early on, and a Lucio ban out of Vero.
Cred că SSG o să baneze Lucio.
Really no Lucio themselves. They want to play a lot of maybe like Wooyoung Kiri, for instance.
Bro!
This is a pretty good ban.
Yeah, I think, you know, the support bans are going to be pretty popular in this series, and this might look like a really bold ban out of SSG to take away the Zarya, especially considering you've got Hawk on your team. I mean, this is one of the best Zaryas in the world, probably the best Zarya in North America. I don't know if that's even controversial. And so to ban it away here really signals to me they want to play D.Va. They want to push the pace, get Hawk into that backline, assisted by Sugar Free, and start cutting down some of these greedy support picks that Vero is so well known for.
Yeah, you don't exactly need Lucio to do that, right? You can do it without Lucio. We've seen even some teams go to the Juno here at this event. But
it's a test for Lep, though, because Lep has been really known as a Lucio player, like through and through. I mean, more than a lot of main sports in NA, he's very focused on the Lucio. It has been a linchpin of the style for SSG. They really play a ton of Lucio carry. And so to lose that tool, I mean, there's a bit of pressure onto Lep. He had some moments on Wu Yang against, I mean, this crazy Raccoons, but he did get picked off of the opener. I mean, that's a really, if that happens in this type of series, Vero could easily come away with it.
Yeah, you show some of the stats over on the desk about you know, the Ilios games that these two teams have had. I know 1-1 for SSG, and that includes some of those stats against Falcons. So you almost throw that out, right? I mean, that series was like over basically before it began, and you kind of have to throw out some of those results, right? That is Crazy Raccoon, one of, if not the best team in the world at the moment, where you'd imagine SSG can take care of business here against Varel, but Varel, I think, Jake, is not going to go down without a fight, right? I mean, look, Team CC, they tried some stuff in that last match, but you know, Weibo really was in control the entire time. I expect this one to be a little bit more competitive.
I think so. I mean, it's a very hard series.
Aștept dacă e să văd dacă reușesc următorii să le dea bătaie lui Raccoon.
They can go the distance against one of the best teams in the world. But Falcons are also a squad that's known to sometimes play down to
Dumnezeu să le dea bătaie la Crazy Raccoon dacă
dominant performances.
Cine pică, cine poate să le dea bătaie.
This is the time to show the world you are legit. You are here for real. Not just to show up at an international event and go out in the first round, but to actually make a run. And the fans, they're hoping for that. The cheers from home are going to be loud if Varel can get this win.
Dude, if Varel can get this win won, I mean, it does not look great for SSG to say we are passionless and then get 9 through 12. But it legitimizes, like, you know, look, like, obviously a lot of great players now coming out of Japan, right? In teams, obviously, you know, investing from Japan. But it definitely is a huge win for that community to be able to get a win here, especially against a pretty proven group of players on SSG.
And I think SSG are, you know, they're no strangers to kind of playing the villains, right? To be that team that's like, yeah, you might not think we're taking this seriously, but we are vets. We have been around for years, tournament after tournament. And some of these younger players on the squad, I'm looking at players like Chronic and CJ in particular, have really impressed me. And they're on very much the positive trajectory of their career. And so while other teams might put this word on Space Station Gaming, call them passionless,
Mi-e frică de combo-ul lor cu Diva și ăsta, Symmetra. Nu știu dacă o să meargă neapărat. S-au schimbat. Opa, Juno și...
Actually, it's going to be a swap here, so they're going to play Brig with Kiri here. With a tracer.
Nu, și-au dat doar speed boost, atâta. Ok.
As a duo, going to be going up against KSG and Top Dragon doing that. Interesting though, Varel, like we talked about, a lot of this flex support backlines, they're going to be playing with a BAP into Kiri early on.
You need to see real stability out of left. There's going to be a lot of pressure on Brig in this comp, but he can do a lot by the same token. Hawk trying to step up, trying to close the distance, but Varel getting a bit of a chokehold on this map. Top Dragon poking from behind, pulling some of the attention, making things awkward for Chronic. Point starting to flip towards Varel, but Space Station pushing up here on this left side. They bully out KSG and take point position for themselves.
And Chronic pretty low as well. KSG just falling back. Gonna get healed up, put some pressure on to knock him back. Is the point still being contested? And that is Slay falling first. That is a huge pick off there for SSG.
Great play between Hawk and Lep there, dominating in the front line. There's quite a few moments where it looks like KSG is getting the edge. The assistance from that Baptiste allowing him to win the poke trade, but Hawk, the experience shows through, and Lep bails him out at the perfect moment alongside that cleanse from CJ.
We'll see. I think it's really important for Varel to get Top Dragon going. He was phenomenal in their series against Falcons. That goes down to the wire. They need a performance like that yet again.
And Jerry from Nico. Hawk trying to clean that up, forces the drone, backs off for now, and Hawk's really taking this off angle. It's hard to clear out a Diva without a Brig on your team, but Top Dragon takes down Left. This is the opening for Varel. Time to step up. Cloud, how are you going to use this Amp Matrix? Do you need to deploy it at all? Hawk has self-destruct, so there's still fight to be played. Sugar Free cuts down Slay, and Space Station Gaming are right back into it with KSG's pick, though. The window deployed on point. It won't be easy. Self-destruct from Hawk. Can he stay alive long enough for the remake? Not quite. Cloud. Headshots are good, and Varel will get the flip.
Yeah, the Amp Matrix from Cloud laid in a really nice spot. Gives some nice vantage points for Nico over the point. The Bob goes down as well. Self-destruct there used by Hawk, just trying to get a mech back for a second there. I thought he was going to be able to do so, but they take him out right before. So less than 50% on the point here for SSG. It'll be Varel now in control.
Could be a brawl on point here. Rush is available for both teams, but Lep could layer in that rally, adding insult to injury. Pulse bump from Top Dragon. Could be backbreaking as well. Looking now for Chronic, trying to disrupt that Ash, but picks the wrong side for the moment. That gives SSG the time to step forward, the time to put the pressure on. Lep wastes no time. He's into the backline. KSG low. Has that substruct if he needs it. Pulse bomb. It's on, but not enough. The cleanse is good. CJ keeps Lep alive. And now Varel struggling, trying to give value to the rest of their own. Top Dragon out of blinks, has to fall out of the play. KSG left alone on the point. Self-destruct deployed. Keeping him alive. Can he get that reason? Yes, he can for the moment. But SSG continuing to push, hunting down backliners, getting rid of Top Dragon in this flank. Entire fight though, Varel taking up progress.
Yeah, and Varel, I mean, they take a lead now. And Jake, they're gonna have players off the spawn. Nico and Top Dragon quite low. They have to do a nice job keeping them up. But this is a great hold here from Varel.
Slay is one, Nico finds another. But SSG, both supports alive. Crawling into close range, this is where they're most comfortable. Now you're trying to get on top of CJ, trying to deal with these Kiriko heals, but Hawk peels his backline well. And the flip came in through the chaos for SSG.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you could actually keep Nico alive here, you would have had another opportunity to drop that Amp Matrix on an off angle. Hawk in a lot of trouble though.
He's okay, he's baiting, playing the Megas. Knows he has no real threat against him. There's no boops, no control for this Diva. And letting Hawk run rampant on the server is bold play to say the least from Varel.
We'll see though, with that Amp Matrix on an off angle here for Nico. Won them a fight the last time. We'll see if they can kind of get this position here. Vantage point. No, never mind. Chronic, 2 headshots into Nico, finishes him off.
Hawk low, forces self-destruct, sends it in deep to the backline before he goes down. Now they're trying to take down KSG, keep the fight going. But Hawk back in the suit. KSG forced into a defensive self-destruct. Does Sugar Free find the connect? Not yet. Mech drop, not enough for a kill, and KSG pulls out. Sugar Free deals with the tank, the rush as well. Chronic finds Slay, and SSG opening up Ilios with a clean round 1 win.
Yeah, Chronic really starting to heat up here towards the end of the round. Sugar Free timing that pulse bomb onto KSG, getting the mech back, basically demechs him yet again. No immortality field there that was able to keep him alive. So round one, a little bit of back and forth here early on, but at the end, it's all SSG.
I mean, this is the problem with these double flex support backlines. You don't have control. You don't have the ability to fight at close range. And SSG, the experience really being shown here. They're working their way up on the map, closing these long sight lines, and honestly, Ruins is the best map of the three for this style. It's only getting harder as we move deeper into this map.
We take a look at some of the stats here from round number one. Only 1-1 from Lep, but felt like the impact was much more there on the Brig.
Yeah, and wasn't scared to tango, wasn't scared to step on the gas and get aggressive. CJ also deathless, very important from this Kiriko. Top Dragon is going to go over to the Echo, so they're really going to get greedy. And Nico, first round PJ.
I mean,
surprising kill to open the round.
It's one of those kills, though, Jake. It happens so early that, like, you still have like 15 seconds where the point's even going to open up.
Lep could be in trouble.
Andrei cum dracu a pierdut punctul la 70%, dar asta e partea a doua.
Hawk has to fall back. Remember, CJ's just coming back into the fight now. Barrel happy to take an early point flip. Space Station Gaming looking to just stay active on the map, keep this fight going. Cleanses force, Top Dragon strikes again, takes down Lep this time, and SSG just can't get into this round.
And it's like worst case here for SSG, right? You lose both these supports really early on into the round, but then also just generally, right? We were talking about how important it is for this support line to play well for SSG. When they do, like you saw in round number one, Hawk, Sugar Free, and Chronic can contend with anybody. It's just, you gotta be able to keep this back line up.
And Chronic, under immense pressure, KSG right up in his face. This time Hawk gets the kills onto Cloud. D.Va, with that perk, able to do so much damage at range. Now SSG get the flip in the chaos, and Barrel just crumbled. I mean, they were in control. They had that hold, and Hawk just showed up, killed the backline by himself. Gets it done.
Yeah, I mean, Hawk just boosts straight past KSG, gets right towards the point. You take out Cloud right away, and then you also get rid of Top Dragon. I mean, that is just a really bad setup there for Barrel. They like didn't even react to the D.Va getting into the backline.
And honestly, this D.Va perk, right, being able to tighten up your spread and push more range, KSG has gone for the more of a brawling style, needs to really carry the team on that front. Hawk wastes no time in immediately countering this high ground push. Sugar Free punished his Drop Dragon, was lying in wait there. And Hawk continued to put the pressure on. KSG, Loba with self-destruct, has incredible heals that can come down from range. Now SSG forced to drop to the point to play with the Brig. Hawk low but not out of the fight yet. Laser Beam is in, but they can just barely get the damage done. Hawk has self-destruct, able to get this free suit. Rush on point, further stabilizing things, but Varel biding their time, waiting for their chances. Pulse Bomb gets nothing. Hawk still finds Cloud. Slay takes down Chronic, and I mean, this is turning into a brawl, man.
Yeah, the Pulse Bomb actually hits Cloud. He's saved there by the Immortality Field. And then it gets finally finished off by Hawk. This is going to be the Kitsune rush here from Slay of Barrel over the point. No self-destruct from Hawk, so you're going to get him out of the mech. And this should be enough here for Barrel. With that later Kitsune rush, able to take it, but not yet. Lep is actually going to pop the rally here without Hawk.
A bit of desperation, they are holding on to the point. So they're getting quite a bit of objective time off of this play. Is it going to be worth it in the end? I mean, the steps onto point there actually really well executed from SSG, but rally is a high price to pay for that.
Would you have kept the rally? I mean,
it's a tough call.
Maybe you think that you can keep Lep alive a little bit longer and like Hawk is back in the action, then you'd be at like 90% at the moment, right? But
yeah.
The fact that there's an Amp Matrix on the other side here and then Slay is about even in terms of rush, man, I would have loved to have that rally potentially.
Chronic needs to find a way through here, needs to connect to the backline. Pulse Bomb eaten by Hawk, ever vigilant there on the D.Va. Hawk, though, got up quite low. Amp Matrix gonna pop him down, wasn't ready for that kind of a counter punch. And Barrel, without the enemy tank on the field, yeah, this should just be a quick reset from Space Station. They just want to get out, get back to spawn, and take another chance as Barrel evening up the score here.
Yeah, KSG can play quite aggressive, right? Has that self-destruct to work with here in combination with Top Dragon and Slay there on the Tracer Gear. He can try and maybe pick off one of these players. Sugar Free takes some shots there from Nico. Does not want to burn that recall at the moment as we may be looking at final fight here on Lighthouse.
The walk-up could be challenging. Hawk has already closed the gap, though. He's close to that backline. Sugar Free getting marked by KSG for the moment. Very deep push from KSG. Has self-destruct to back him up, but doesn't want to just throw that ultimate away. Here comes Hawk. He's into the backline, helping Chronic get this touch on the point, playing for the high ground now. Forcing Cloud out of the fight, but Chronic taking this to KSG, trying to ball out, but can't quite get the damage done. KSG playing with the house cash and that self-destruct. SSG building up the ultimates, rush on point. for both teams now. It all comes down to this, the double down on the point. Chronic takes down Nico. Bomb gets just enough. It's actually has sent Hawk's neck off the map and is able to get cleaned up before he can resuit. Sugarfree has to get this done, has to lead the team, and maybe has just done enough. Chronic's still alive as well. Left rallies to secure. Doesn't want to take a risk in this fight, but maybe didn't need it.
Yeah, maybe did not need it. You're going to have another fight, right? Daryl's going to be able to touch here. Top Dragon needs to stay up.
If he doesn't live, this is going to be potentially game. He's running out of blinks, caught between a rock and a hard place. Sugarfree hunting him down. Top Dragon turns, but he can't stand tall. Now, Beryl have to fight. Down one, they've gone to the brig, trying to take this fight on the point. Nico needs to be the hero, needs to find a clutch kill, get some connections onto the backline, but the cleanse from CJ keeps them up for the moment. KSG running low on the health, and now toe-to-toe with the brig in the small room. Not the place you want to be, and SSG looking to close out Ilios, opening up this series 1-0.
Yeah, not the fight there that KSG would have wanted to take. Tries to make a play for Lip, and he falls. That'll be SSG taking a 1-0 lead in this series.
It's a big map to win. It's your map opening pick, and in a first to two, it really counts, right? You've set the stage. Yes, Beryl, they're gonna get to clap back, get a map pick, get a hero ban. And you know you're gonna be staring down the barrel of a Space Station map pick for the closeout of the series.
I agree. We have seen Beryl though, and what I imagine will happen is they will take us to Shambali Monastery. And maybe they're able to make it work there. We take a look at some of the stats. CJ, 8-1, almost 5K damage, over 10K healing. A great game from him on the Kiri, and that's what you need to see out of these two players in the backline of SSG.
And honestly, I mean, CJ is really the one who's called upon to have a big game in a matchup like that, because, you know, when you cut the main support, you're not able to get that to that backline, not able to connect, and if Kiriko just lives forever, I mean, the consistency of the output from CJ is incredible. Sugarfree as well, really able to feast in this game, right? You go greedy with the backline, and you're getting punished by exactly the players that Space Station needs to get active. It's Lenny, it's Hawk. They're always getting in there, they're always getting active. Chronic's taking a lot of pressure from KSG, but that just opens the door for Hawk and Sugarfree to get in and take the fights to the opponent.
Yeah, and a few times there for Varel, right? Like, you know, they have control of that point for a while, and it was that one fight where we were like kind of laughing about it, where Hawk just basically boosts right past Varel, and him and Sugarfree are able to take out two players when they had control of the point. At just moments like that, if Varel were to clean up just a little bit, could be a different scenario there for map number 1. But as we move forward in the series, it'll be a Varel map selection and first ban. Remind you guys, the other day, they take Falcons to Shambali Monastery, double flex support backline, which they love to do. They looked awesome on that map. I think obviously SSG will be better prepared than potentially Falcons was at that moment. So we'll see if that's where they decide to go.
Yeah, Varel have shown one of their strongest cards, I think, and a lot of teams this tournament have been taking us to Shambali. So it's going to be a place where SSG have absolutely thought about not only their own strategy, but also what Varel are likely to do. And so, you know, yes, I feel like Shambali is such a powerful pick for the double flex support. However, as you said, the fact that that strategy is open, and you can't ban the Lucio, right? You can ban anything else, but you can't ban the Lucio. And that's actually pretty important, I think.
I'd also say it is a map loss on the Varel record. But on Runasapi against Falcons, they had a lead for most of that game. And
they look good.
And it still comes down to one fight. So maybe there's also a world in which we see them go that route. It's a map loss for Varel, but it did not look, you know, they beat just about every other team in the world in that game other than Falcons. So potentially two decently strong maps that they have an opportunity to go to, but as I highlighted before, Shambali Monastery was their pick against Falcons, is their pick here against SSG.
You just got to give Slay the ball here, give him a shot to take this Illari and really send a message. I wouldn't mind a Kiriko ban, because I think it really does allow, I mean, the cleanse is such a potent response to Illari. I mean, you pretty much just counter the ultimate. You're just not really going to get much Illari value when Kiriko hits that cleanse. And so it'd be one way to ban not only a support, but also to kind of protect your double flex support.
It puts CJ in a little bit of a weird spot as well with SSG of like, okay, you know, he was so great on the Kiri. Like, what does he end up going to? Do we see them maybe play Kiriko. Yeah, there is the Kiri ban. And it is Venture gone here. Gotten rid of by SSG. We have seen a lot of great Venture play, specifically even at a Top Dragon, right? So this is a very good ban for Space Station.
And I think Shambali is a fantastic map for Venture. I mean, it's full of these close-range corners, awkward spots where Venture can get in,
spam
can
damage
hold
from the
objectives,
as well.
And yeah, actually do real damage. I mean, you're not finding yourself too often in spots where the range limitation is that much of an issue for Venture. And so I think this is a really intelligent ban, even though I don't really expect SSG to play Sim, which is sort of the conventional read of what a Venture ban leads you to. It's an option for them.
But if they're going to play a backline, if you're talking about Varel of what? Are you looking at like a Alari? Is it Alari Bat?
I think that's what we've seen from them before, right? It's been the Alari Bat, but honestly, I think Venture fits in so well with that style because you don't need as much consistent healing as somebody like Tracer wants. And honestly, Bap and Alari don't provide. And at the same time, you create a lot of distraction, slow the game down, and kind of get the enemy bogged down into these kill zones where they're being poked down by support. So Slay, Top Dragon, question is on them. What do they want to play? How do they want to approach this?
Yeah, because you could have seen, right, with the Zarya ban used in map number 1 from SSG, like you could have saw Varel go back and play some of those like Zarya Venture-based comms with those double flex supports, right? And really up the pace and the tempo and give SSG some trouble trying to keep CJ and Lep alive. But that seems, at least for now, no, obviously Venture off of the table. You can still play quite aggressive. Not going to be the same type of effect.
I think this is a map where we need to see KSG step up and have a big game. Because frankly, map 1, this was all Hawk. He was running the table.
And I mean, Hawk can do that at the international stage. I mean, it's been a while since we've seen him. Yeah,
it's been a second, but he's been here before. He's been on this trophy list, right? He's won championships. This is a player you have to respect. We talk a lot about Sugar Free, but maybe we don't talk enough about Hawk.
He's one of the more fun players in North American Overwatch, I believe, is that, you know, just a really great mind for the game. When he's here competing in the OWCS, he cares a ton. He's watching everything, knows so much about the game. And like you mentioned, he's had success with numerous teams, mixed rosters all over the globe. So Hawk, a fantastic player that SSG, they're quite fortunate, right, that they're able to convince him to come back and play, because there are not many tanks in North America that can kind of do what Hawk does.
I mean, second in NA, they defeated GK for this spot. They've earned their position. Now the question is, can they hold on to it? Can they stay alive here in Stockholm? Send Varel home in 2 maps. Do what Falcons couldn't do.
It'll be Varel on defense here to kick things off, as it will be that Alari Baptiste backline, like we had discussed. And they'll combo that with Ram, Echo, and Ashe here. We have started to see more Ashe play as we have gone a little bit deeper into this tournament. As for SSG, see what they decide to do. Still some time on offense, but potentially we'll see Chronic. Maybe it's a Freya. Ooh,
I love the Genji.
That's a great shot.
I mean, this is a remarkably greedy composition from Varel. They have no control on the flanks, no protection from flankers. It's all on to Top Dragon to shut down Sugar Free. He's pretty much the only one who can do it. And when a Nano Blade comes down, I would not want to be the opponent. Dash into the air, hold on, taking the duel with Top Dragon. That's not the fight you want, Sugar
Dar gen Charles n-a fost bine, că nu are cine să le dea flank, gen Top Dragon poate să le dea flank, dar nu așa de bine. I mean, până reușește Top Dragon să dea flank, cred că deja l-omoară. Vede măcar, habar n-am.
For these nano boosts, the ability to get that on the Hawk or Sugar Free could work wonders for SSG as Hawk just pesters up there, but that's 2 in a row now for Top Dragon.
Crucial
lay there with the help to kill Sugar Free. It looks very disjointed, at least at the start for SSG.
I mean, I like the move from SSG. Top Dragon just shuts it down. I mean, he's the one who's got to hold these off angles. Sugar Free heads on over to the Tracer, just can't quite get away with the Genji facing down that Echo.
It's a bit less scary, though, I think, for the backline with the Tracer. It is scarier for the Echo, though.
Absolutely.
Right?
A much harder duel for Top Dragon. Not going to be free whatsoever. Chronic takes a bit of pressure, but dodges the stickies. Continues to hold. Slay steps over, and this is why this comp is so oppressive from Varel. They're so well practiced, distributing the resources on the map, and SSG not making any progress. The nano onto Hawk here. He hasn't gotten too much done just yet, but finally the connection comes in. It's actually the Echo who doesn't get the resources. Hawk's nano pulls way too much attention to the front line.
Yeah, but you still have KSG here holding down the payload as they have gotten no progress thus far. Now they will as they finally break Varel's setup, but some decent time off the clock there for Varel.
Yeah, Varel going to be very happy about how this defense is progressing. Still, an ultimate like Sound Barrier is crucial. I mean, you really don't have any tools to deal with that on Varel. You just have to outplay it. You just have to survive it, but so much easier said than done. Top Dragon scouted on the flank. Hawk tries to bully him out of this off angle, and he will succeed for the moment. Slay, he's been crucial on this Ari. What can he find here? Top Dragon with the copy tracer, taking the fight into the backline. Gonna run low on time. He has to recall out. Still, pulse bomb not quite available. Hawk out of the suit, forced the bomb. And there's a spot opening for Top Dragon. Can he get the pulse in? Not quite enough for the kill. A bit of damage on the Chronic, but the follow-up is there for Slay over the top.
They were talking about his captive son back at the mid-season championship. That one is pretty good though. Connects with 2. Obviously no Kiri available to be able to cleanse that off, and that'll be another fight win for Varel. As Jake, we are quickly here below a minute on the clock. You do have Sound Barrier available here for Lep and SSG. Still not an ideal scenario for them to be in.
Nico is sharp right now as well. Can't forget about this hit scan. Very experienced in this style, putting pressure on with minimal resource. Still, it's SSG's turn with this Sound Barrier. All would be forgiven if they can just open up this first point. This is where so many teams fall.
KSG play in the corner here. Just being patient. Oh, Lep needs to stay alive. Dangerous there. So look at this. Top Dragon on a flank. That's going to be the beat that opens things up as Nico throws in the bomb.
Hawks into the backline. This Baptiste dead to right. Hunted down. Chronic. The bowler shot onto Nico opens things up 2-0 here. And the bomb just being evaded for the moment by SSG. Tries to hunt down CJ, but he's still here with all skills. Stays alive in the fight. Cart is being pressured at the same time. And Hawk cleans things up with that booster perk.
Yeah, it'll be KSG finished off, and right before OT, it'll be SSG who takes the first checkpoint, and they push up. They want to deny this space from Varel. So let's go to listening with SSG, see if they can deny that space.
Defend! Defend, apărați! Și că listening de la... gata.
I bomb. I don't need that. Good even. Come back. 20. Good job. We go early? Yeah, we go early. I'm gonna sacrifice on them. They shot not bad. Here you go. Alert your ship, Hawk. Here we go.
SSG calling to go fast, trying to push this tempo. Hawk comes in, trying to punish the flankers, but for the moment, they stayed up. Chronic has found Top Dragon, and now it's Nico in the sights. Has gone to the Freya, has the mobility, but it's not enough to get away from Sugar Free. With DPS down, this push could be already over for Varel.
It is such a good call from SSG when we're in on that listen-in to go fast, quite aggressive. Oh, wait, hold on. CJ gets hit with the bomb. You have the Captive Sun come over the top. Hold That's left and... Oh, wait, what? As they turn this, Slay and KSG.
It's been a while since I've seen a Poco bomb that, but that's a certified.
Dude, that is a bomb that ends up perfectly around the corner, takes out CJ, and then another Captive Sun that comes through from Slay.
I can't believe they clutched that.
And that is one that you should not lose. SSG, maybe even they felt like a little bit of a foot off the gas that they were just going to kind of take that one easy. Now, it's a much different scenario here as Slay also goes over to the brig, so going to be much harder to be aggressive against.
Yeah, has a better tool to peel his backline. Still, the Sound Barrier. Immense threat in this fight. I mean, when Lep drops that beat, it is the go sign for SSG, and they're going to play for that. 20 seconds left on the clock. Plenty of time to farm up beat. A lot of pressure onto Lep, though. If he goes down here, it would be a decisive towards a Varel hold. But Lep's getting that poke in, getting that extra damage. How's the sound barrier online? Amps it up. Top Dragon's already low. Beat right down the middle. Chases into the back line, gets on top. Looking for more. The copied sound barrier. Hold on. Top Dragon with the tool to keep this fight going. And Varel with the defensive beat. I did not expect that, but it's just enough to hold this on. Varel, unconventional, but they get it done. They could be getting this whole CJ. If he goes down to this Ana, that's all the support left. And it's just Hawk with the self-destruct. Surely not enough to take the 1v4.
You rarely see that. A duped Lucio intentionally to get that extra support ultimate online.
So sick.
Top Dragon just making some wild plays this week. As dude, that beat connects with 4, keeps everybody up, keeps KSG alive, keeps the supports alive long enough to get a second point hold. But really, I mean, fantastic plays, obviously, from Top Dragon there at the end. But it is like a 2v4 that KSG connects with that Diva Bomb, Slay with 2 with the Captive Sun. That's what really puts that defense in a position to get that hold where it was from Varel.
They look so comfortable. And Space Station Gaming pretty much go down right where Falcons did. See, they can get a better defense, but so far, no one's been able to break this Varel defense, man. Second point is just a stronghold for them.
Măcar au dat pentru primul punct, I guess. Care au dat defense pentru primul.
It's about to be legendary.
It's getting there as SSG on defense. So, Wuyong Ana here. So, pretty greedy backline as well on the defensive side of things.
Da, dar tot nu mi se pare că e bine gen Wuyong cu Ana, având în vedere ce s-a întâmplat runda trecută. Dacă nu mă așa s-au schimbat pe Lucio. Cine a jucat CJ?
Those aggressive plays when on defense. They want to play things a little bit more slow, a little bit more cautious and careful. Top Dragon, got my eyes on him, on this Echo. It's going to be so crucial. Attack, of course, a little bit more difficult to find some of these openers.
Trist.
It'll be Nico on Ashe, so a little bit of a different look here for Varel.
Uite, să scoată un pic.
Slay goes back to the Brig yet again, so it also feels like the Brig is targeted. They want to stop Hawk. He's so aggressive into their backline. They want to punish him a little bit more.
KSG's down?
Păi da, dar odată ce scoate pe...
got deleted. I mean, he had to step up there.
Diva, cred că e GG.
Didn't expect that Hawk would be willing to tango in the small room. And, I mean, Hawk just calls the bluff, recognizes he's out of cooldowns and punishes. KSG going to go over to the Diva. I like this response, actually, because now it's SSG's turn to be without a conventional main support. There's not really control to stop KSG from getting aggressive.
No, dar chiar n-au niciun main support.
It also feels like KSG should have been able to get some help on the Ram there to keep himself alive. Whether you play the Brig in that room, nice nade there, connects with 2, not able to capitalize.
Doamne ajută să facă Top Dragon ce au reușit runda trecută.
On the Top Dragon, he gets the pack, but it's not enough. Clean burst from the Diva. The Matrix just gets him out of trouble. Beautiful play from the Space Station backline.
Oh, and the sleep there from CJ on the KSG, plus a bio grenade. That's going to allow them to get the Diva out of mech. Sick plays from the Ana on Space Station Gaming.
I love that from Hawk. I mean, one of the strengths of this comp is the amount of raw healing throughput you can put down on a Diva, and Hawk uses every last bit of it there, taking down the star player from Varel. Top Dragon getting bursted out of the fight first. It really does feel like they need this Echo to find kills, and he hasn't gotten anything on this offense.
No, I mean, Hawk and CJ here on defense for SSG have just been unreal.
Absolutely. Shambali looking scary now. This nade doesn't connect from CJ. Hawk over the top, gets onto the Freya, puts some damage down, enough for the cleanup kills. Boosters online again, goes straight to the Baptiste in the backline. Drone forced, and Hawk is cleaning house. Sugar-Free and Chronic also finding kills, and it's going to be a nasty delay onto KSG. They are not going to drop this baby Diva.
This has been ugly on offense from Varel. KSG goes to help back. He's going to get a resuit here. And they're not going to be able to finish him off, so at least he didn't have to go back to the spawn.
The ultis, man, it looks so dark.
He's going to go back to... No, we're going to play Zarya. I thought for a second we were going to go back to Ram, but no, it's going to be the Zarya pick.
I mean, it's got some tools now to deal with Ana, to deal with Hawk, but SSG have so many ults. Is this tank swap going to be enough to get it over the line? We're basically fighting in barrel spawn. I mean, this is probably the best ult yet we've seen this tournament on Shambali.
Oh, without
and this is from Space Station Gaming.
Varel has not been able to get anything going here. Tidal Blast available, and Matrix up on the high ground here, dropped by Varel. So they're just desperate, trying to find anything
Slay in trouble. Is he gonna rally to commit? Yes, he is. Tank is sleeping though. KSG taking a little bit of a nap on the job. Top Dragon is back in alongside Nico, and it's a very expensive fight, but finally, Beryl gonna roll this card.
I mean, at what cost though, right? We are below a minute. You had to invest Ant Matrix, your bola shot, and your rally into that. And SSG, I mean, look, you throw the bola shot in there, and they have everything to work with here in what most certainly looks like to be a potential final fight on this map.
Could be the final fight of the tournament. They picked their strongest map, but will it be enough? Once again, Beryl have to call on Top Dragon. The star from Korea, can he do it on the Echo? Up in the air, gets the bubble, but they're being punished on the flank. No connections yet from Top Dragon, forced into a copy, but it's the Wu Yang, it's not what he wants, and Sugar Free has already found two. Beryl could be falling out of the tournament. Top Dragon can't even get the ultimate off. You're on the Hawk, self-destruct comes on, and now Beryl, just a few players left. The dregs of our Japanese squad represented, but Sugar Free is cleaning them out. 3 in this fight, looking for the fourth, looking for the finish, and SSG eliminate Beryl from contention in Stockholm.
Deci nu pot să cred.
A very strong performance from Space Station
Deci
Gaming.
nu pot să cred.
They send Beryl packing. And look, that was a fantastic hold. That is a Beryl team that beats Team Falcons on that map in similar fashion. And they were lucky to get out of the spawn, it felt like, against SSG. That is a strong performance from our number 2 team from NA.
And that's a message from Space Station Gaming here, loud and clear to any team in Stockholm. You underestimate us. You say we're passionless. You say we've given up, and we will send you home. Beryl, they're happy to be here. They're proud that they made it this far, but it's undeniable that they were hoping for more in Stockholm.
And I think for Beryl, if you allow a player like Hawk to just run rampant in your backline like that, and then you're also not punishing CJ and Lep, I mean, that's the result that's going to happen. I mean, Hawk got wherever he wanted, whenever he wanted, the entire game there. No stopping the Diva on SSG.
I mean, this is the problem, right? You don't play these main supports, and you've got aggressive stars like Sugar Free and Hawk. I mean, SSG, the strengths are just perfectly positioned for this matchup. They know exactly what they need to do, and they make it happen. And one of the things we talked about, though, for them is, will the backline have that stability? Will they be able to recover and just endure the immense poke that Beryl can put down? And they passed that test with flying colors. Speaking of that backline, we've got Danny down on the stage to talk to CJ.
That's right, thanks guys. I am joined by CJ from Space Station Gaming. I mean, fantastic stuff. I do want to start off the question with, I mean, you guys did have to face off against Crazy Raccoon yesterday, and it was a bit of a tough loss. It was a, 3-0 loss for you guys. Was there anything that you learned from that loss that sort of helped you out get the win today?
Honestly, not really. We just walked into the match knowing we were going to lose. So like, don't take it too much. If we do lose, don't let it hurt the mental and just go till tomorrow.
Let's talk about this match against Beryl, though. I mean, you guys looked fantastic. Was there any specific weakness that you saw in Beryl that let you guys get the win today?
Not necessarily there was a weakness. We saw their match against Falcons, and they did take a map, so we thought it was going to be a little closer, like they would also take a map against us. But we just exploited that they're not really playing Venture comps. We banned Venture on Shambali. They can't really play Venture on Ilios either. So we just played the maps, and that Venture is not good, and it worked well for us.
All right, and last but not least, of course, you guys have one more match today. You guys are going up against Weibo Gaming. CJ, what are your thoughts on that team, and how do you think that game is going to be played out?
I think they definitely look a little weak because there's Zarya comps. They have Gushman Zarya, and he's like one of the best monkeys in the world. As you've seen by the Owcs series, it wasn't that great for him. They lost pretty hard, so I'm feeling confident that we can win.
All right, and before I let you go, CJ, can you do me a favor? Can you read out the letters here for me?
Yeah. So, yeah. R-I-S-E.
What does that spell? You guys are rising to the top. All right, guys, that's it for the interview. Thank you so much. Let's head back to the desk.
All right.
Random letters forming a word. Could this be a secret code? Who knows? But if it is, maybe you should be using the URL you're seeing on your screens right now and find out and potentially win some good stuff. And now we have some good stuff to talk about because, I mean, if a victory isn't passionate, if that's not the kind of passion you want to see from SSG, then I don't know what else is. This was expected. but it is still sad because this means the end of Varel's journey.
I kind of expected a little bit more out of Varel. Like, we sort of had that interview there. They also, you know, we saw the win versus Falcons yesterday on Shambani. It's like, maybe they could take a map here. And obviously, this was a close enough map. We'll talk about map 1 first, which I think a round should have probably have been in here for Varel. It was a 99-99 finish. We had some huge clutches. Saw out of Sugarfree, particularly on that second round as well, on that Lighthouse. Generally, what I got out of this particular map, though, and maybe across the series, is the Diva matchup. KSG opted into the Diva matchup. KSG's been expanding his hero pool. I think he mostly started as a main tank player, but he's been playing a lot of the Diva, playing a lot of the Zarya. He opted to go into the Zarya towards the end, but really it was the Diva from Hawk that ruled the day.
And this backline from Varel, I think this is one of the biggest surprises out of the entire tournament, and why Shambali Monastery looked like it could be another Varel victory, especially against a top dog like Space Station. That Allari was just so fun to watch from Slay, all those captive suns, and the clutch moments that can come out from a flex support backline. But at the end of the day, it is Space Station that ends up taking the win 2-0, and I hope this can be a bit of a confidence booster. And we say passionless, but we heard the comms from Space Station. They are trying really hard. They know what kind of tournament life is on the line for them, and I think this is a good sign for them heading further into the lower bracket.
It is, and when you just watched the footage of their winning moment there, you saw the sight of relief coming from Coach Christopher there as well. He came to play, you know, like they made some changes in this last stage, and they were actually performing really, really well to get here. And we just heard it in the interview as well. They knew that they're not going to win their first round in the upper bracket, so that was just like a brush it off.
Yep.
And now they're starting their salty lower bracket run.
Which always happens when you go up against Crazy Raccoon a little bit early. They'll send you down. I think the pathway looks pretty good for them. They got Weibo next, and seems like they have a decent amount of confidence up against Weibo. But Weibo also come into today looking very strong themselves. Both of the sort of like underdog teams that we have in this tournament, Team CC and Varel, didn't quite find their mark today in the opening 2 matches. Neither of them took a map after very good performances in our studio days in the first 2 days. Both Team CC and Varel just probably fell behind a little bit compared to the teams that were more favored to win, like Weibo and SSG.
It's going to be a fun matchup to watch Weibo and SSG go up against each other, but of course we still have 2 more matches that will be taking place in the lower bracket round number 1, and I think they're both also going to be kind of exciting. I really hope that they're going to be close, but they might not.
They might not be. Well, but I'm sure all the teams will bring their A game because this is do or die. It's first to 2 in that first round of the lower bracket, and we will be playing the second round in the lower bracket as well. That will be played in the first 2-3. Now we're heading into a very quick break, but when we come back, we are here with more World Finals action in the lower bracket. It's going to be T1 facing off against GK.
Da. Bota e de joc, ce să zic, bota e de joc. Fix asta e, bota e de joc. Bota e de joc.
In the wind, an echo, a whisper, a calling home.
It welcomes us, not as wanderers, but as its kin.
In search of a memory of what once was, where purpose ignites.
Refuge, where warriors can lay down their weapons and join forces with one another. You can feel the power as countless worlds collide.
A new future with endless possibilities. A place to unite. To imagine.
To belong. Are you ready, BlizzCon? It's about time.
The 2025 Overwatch World Finals is brought to you by DHL.
Your love makes us strong.
Okay, I'm not doing
That's
that.
just awesome.
You aren't even getting into it,
Just
bro.
awesome.
No, I'm dead ass.
Love makes us strong and what?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
Just wave. Your love makes us strong. Your love makes us strong.
We're 3, 2, 1 it, bro.
Oh, we are?
Are we actually doing that?
Yeah, your love
okay.
makes us strong.
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna say 3, 2, 1, go, and then we do it. Okay?
Your love makes us strong.
All right, now say it like you mean it. Your love makes us strong. Dear Stockholm, it's a pleasure to be back here for the 2025 OWCS World Finals in Sweden. So we're here joined by Nectra and Avril to break it all down. 2 matches done, many more to go today. Thus far, though, it's been a little stroll through to Overwatch City.
I was hoping some of these matches would be a little bit closer, especially because Team CC and Varel are such fan favorites. But I think the results are still as we expected, Avril.
Haven't had any huge upsets yet. I mean, we kind of got somewhat of an upset in our earlier 2 days, but right now in our first couple of games that we didn't even see those one mappers come through. I thought Varel and CC might have gotten that one map, so yeah. Somebody give us a 3 mapper, please.
Well, maybe this one is the one. Now let's hear what the other teams have to say about our first contender, Tier 1.
But grab is available. Here comes the beat from T1.
T1 carries weight.
觉得是他们的个人能力都非常强吧，然后他们的主题体系，我觉得也对很强。
Teams respect them. Some even fear them.
They're just genetically gifted. Versus us, they're literally the best team in the world. You just can't beat them. They're unbeatable in scrims. They're actually unbeatable.
They've got strong fundamentals.
尝试的话，我觉得他们节奏很快啊。
이제 아시아 팀들의 템포가 좀 빠르다 보니까 이제 그게 저희가 상대하는 북미나 뭐 유럽 팀들 상대로 좀 잘 먹힐 수 있지 않을까 해서.
Sharp players.
Donghak, in my opinion, I think he's like probably the best tank in the world.
They play around Donghak. I mean, just pocket him and he'll kill everyone.
Proud on Freya is definitely like one of the best Freyas in the world.
That boy doesn't miss a shot.
And a style that can overwhelm you if you're not ready.
Like hard to tell what they're actually gonna do because they've like tried a lot of different stuff.
제가 생각하기엔 요즘 딜러가 좀 강하다 생각해가지고 챔피언들이.
But they haven't hit the same highs as Crazy Raccoon or Team Falcons.
I mean, it's hard to tell whether they're better than Crazy Raccoon or Falcons. No. Yeah, I don't think so either.
이제 그 경기 때문에 조금 안 좋게 본 팀들도 있을 것 같고, 아니면 저희가 전에 좀 저력 있는 팀이라 생각해서.
I mean, I think they're pretty good. I think they could place really high in the tournaments.
They're good. Everyone agrees on that. But the big international moments are still missing.
To be T1, way too close for comfort at many moments through this series.
That team always does like really well, but when it's like the actual like really important matches, they've kind of fallen short, at least in previous stages.
If they want to stand beside the top names in their region, this is the tournament to prove it.
약간 성취감이 되게 클 것 같아요. 그리고 다들 애들도 뿌듯할 것 같고 무엇보다 이제 됐구나 하는 그런 생각이 들 것 같네요.
T1, the number 3 seed coming in from Korea. And they have been nipping at the heels of Team Falcon as well as Team Raccoon.
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that really has the capability to be the best team in Korea, and, well, with that, the best team in the world. However, like we heard in that interview as well, Kuffa said it the best. Sometimes T1 just kind of the lights maybe get too bright. This is one of those lights too bright kind of teams on stage, and it doesn't work out for them in those very intense clutch kind of matches. They already looked kind of shaky in the opening game versus CC, dropping the map to CC, and then getting reverse swept by Twisted Minds. They had a 2-0 lead up, then lost their next 3 maps, and in the final map, New Junk City, it was also reverse swept on the map itself. They started 2-0 up on the map, and then lost 3 rounds in a row. So T1, man, in these very tough situations, they need to keep the composure.
I'm looking at this roster, and I love that we see Donghak in a starting position. Of course, they
and
have Jasmine.
He's just doubling down.
Yeah, I know, right?
Here for
I think that's supposed to say Jasmine, or Jasmine is in the starting roster, either one of the two. But I think the fact that we do have 2 different looks from this team, they have, of course, Donghak that they can rely upon for maybe some of the Wrecking Ball matchups, if they want to play the Wrecking Ball versus Kuffa and Geeke, or they can go down that actual off-tank route with Jasmine playing something like the Ramatra and the Zarya. But for Geeke, I think they're going to be really happy to be able to take that Wrecking Ball matchup.
They would be. They really would be. It's been very interesting to see so much of Jasmine because previously to the World Finals, we really haven't, right? So Jasmine now in the mix, but let's hear it from all of our teams and what they have to say about the opponents. GK.
GK hears the talk. Some teams think the coaching change is going to slow them down and that this is the moment they fall off.
They don't have him now. I think it's GG's for them, honestly.
Do they even have a coach?
Wait,
and
Ultraviolet?
Yuvi's the coach.
Yeah, their player's their coach, so that's how it's going for them.
But GK doesn't buy that for a second.
A lot of teams see us as a team with a lot of variables, I feel like. Because when they are against us, they have like literally no idea what to expect, I think.
If anything, they think other teams should be the ones worried.
A lot of our tournament runs, we've had a lot of upsets. We had a lot of like close calls with top teams. Like even the last tournament, we were map 5 with both the finalists, you know? So I think teams should be a little scared.
They still play clean, controlled, and tough to crack. Their fundamentals haven't gone anywhere.
I mean, I just think all their players are very strong, and I think they're also good at playing with each other as a team too.
I mean, they have their style.
Yeah.
They really like playing house.
Sure, adapting to new guidance takes time. There might be bumps early.
Not having enough tank is going to be hard. They have to play to their strengths very well, in my opinion, if they want to go far.
I think like we're returning back to our stage 2 and 1 form, and I think when we're in that form, like nobody knows what will happen.
But GK believes they are still a threat.
I wouldn't want to play against us.
And they're ready to prove it the moment tournament starts.
That's right. NA's third-seeded team coming in here, and now they're playing for their lives. Necra, what has their season been like?
It's been so fun to watch their season because if you remember this team playing under the Nightmare banner in stage number 1, they actually did go very far in our first LAN of the season at the Champions Clash, and I think that's where you have to take a look at this roster and see their stage 2 and be a little disappointed. While they did end up making it to the mid-season championships, they ended up going out in the in the top 8, and so I think we have a lot more hope for this GK roster that they can come in, they can utilize this strength. Maybe some of them say, well, there's no subs. That might be a little bit of a con, but I think that could be a pro for this team. They know that they can play together as a team of 5.
For GK as well, I think moving back into some of the strengths we saw earlier in the stage where Ultraviolet on that Wooyoung, I mean, best Wooyoung of North America by far, possibly even expanding that to the globe, but we're seeing a lot more of that. I think after Wooyoung nerfed, that kind of nerfed the team a little bit. They do need to get back to that stage 2 type of form, stage 1 type of form as well, where they won NA stage 1, they won NA stage 2. It's really that stage 3 where things start to fall apart. Even third place wasn't that bad for GK, but just not their expectations. So I've also seen Admiral, by the way, he's really rounding out his hero pool. I thought he was one of the weaknesses on the team in terms of really only playing the Lucio. Now he's playing a lot more Kiriko, and that really helps out the team.
Yeah, I mean, what we've seen so far from them in this tournament, though, was not super inspiring. It just felt like they haven't quite found their footing, their identity in the meta that is still very much unfolding and to be found out.
Yeah, I mean, they did get 2-0 swept by Alcatia in that first round, and I think you can still look at that and go, well, it was Alcatia. What else can you kind of expect when you have to go up against one of the absolute best teams in EMEA? And should we take stock in that, Avril?
At this point, I mean, really, Cuffer's hero pool for this particular tournament and this particular meta is probably lacking slightly. He's not going to be playing as much of the D.Va, not really going to be playing Zarya. He's going to be heavily leaning to Ram. It does remind me a lot of Gushwei in that sort of regard. So I think this is going to be an interesting matchup because if Dongak ends up playing to Cuffer, they're going to be playing mostly main tanks. And I actually think T1 probably should lean into more Dongak this series, as we actually see his stats here, top of the elimination leaderboard. I'd actually be surprised if Jasmine gets subbed in. I think Dongak will be playing most of the series.
Which is interesting because Jasmine has looked very good, but it has been matchup dependent. And so I think you're right. Donghack comes in being able to play a Wrecking Ball, the Winston, and with that matchup versus Kuffa, this is where Kuffa is really going to need to step up to the plate. Make sure that you can actually execute on a lot of these dives. And as we heard a lot of these teams talk about, T1, their speed, they like to go fast. And I think that's going to be a really tough thing, especially for the North American teams that might not have a lot of experience playing up against the Koreans to adapt to on the fly.
Absolutely. So what do you see as the biggest strength for the opposition here for GK? He already said what he wants to see. What do you want to see from GK? Where do you think they have the biggest chance to win? Maybe it's also like a ban and map scenario?
I think so, but I think also there's Maimon. Maimon is a hyper-flexible DPS player. There's a lot of different things that he can pull out. Tracer obviously looks very good, but the fact that Maimon also pulled out the Venture and the Echo, I think you need to be able to play a lot of different flex DPS heroes in this particular tournament.
This particular matchup to me is going to come down to the backline in the terms that T1 have a lot more flexibility there. Both of their backliners can play the flex support that can be leaned into, whereas a lot less flexibility on the GK side can lean a lot more into the Wuyang. And the reason why I think Dongak is going to play most of the series is because you can just play the main tank into the main tank into cover here, not having to rely on Jasmine, who's not played that much with T1 for the rest of the entire year. So play to your strengths here, and you know you can win against GK in the head-to-head in that mirror.
Yeah, T1 actually surprising that they did use so much like subbing in and out like per map. So like we don't usually see that. We usually see like a core roster just kind of standing in. But thus far though, it's been working out for them obviously. Let's talk predictions for this one. I feel like T1 have to be like the heavy favorite to win this one, especially if you're like just looking at recency bias and the performance so far from the two teams. Like T1, they look like just a league above.
I also went with T1. I think that we just have such a variety in terms of the roster and just how well oiled this team is. But getting some of the best practice in the world against Team Falcons and Crazy Raccoon, they're set up here. I'm
contractually obligated to root for the Korean teams
Obviously.
to predict for them, so T1 for me, but mostly because I do think this is going to end up being a Dongak versus Kuffa battle where in the mirror, Dongak will take that mirror. He wants to be able to play the ball. You can even just target out Kuffa's Winston and force the ball matchup, so I think that's probably where T1 really wants to go.
Yeah, and we're seeing the audience does agree with that. T1, obviously the favorite. Alas, it wouldn't be the first underdog story we get to tell here on this very desk. So let's bring our teams out to the stage. Adam, please take it away.
Thank you very much, team. A cosmic performance, galactic even, seismically, moonquakingly good. You get the gist, the puns there. Space Station Gaming are through to the next round. But we look now to the next contest on this main stage. What will happen between these two planet-sized teams? We're about to find out. Let's meet them. First up is the one and the only. It's T1. T1, comprising of Proud, Zest, Donghack, Vigilante, and Skewed. They are ready, and they are waiting. Let's see how T1 fare in this next head-to-head. And facing them, it's GK Esports! Embracing their moment in the spotlight is Admiral, Ultraviolet, Kuffa, Maimone, and Lethal. DreamHack are excited about this one. How will they fare against T1? It's all about to go down right here at your OWCS World Finals. Best of luck to all of our players as they take their seats. This is it. It's about to go down. We are ready and waiting. We said toodaloo to Varel earlier on. Who will be the next to exit the competition and who will go one step further? It's time to get down to it. Here we go. Strap yourselves in.
A titan of North America in GK Esports, facing off against T1, a legendary name in all of esports. And Johnny, you heard Kuffa's words in the little interview there we had on Media Day. Says Dongak's the best tank in the world currently. Is that a little too much respect? It's an elimination game now.
I don't think so. You gotta respect your opponent. The Dongak is one of the best tank players in the world. For Kuffa here, this is going to be a really tough test because they match up their hero pools quite nicely here. So Kuffa, you gotta outplay one of the best tank players in the world.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of Jasmine too in the early opening days, and T1 not afraid to kind of flip in and out. But like Avril said and highlighted on the desk was, well, actually, Kuffa, we know he kind of wants to play these main tanks. We're just going to go in the head-to-head. Like, we're chilling with this. We're completely fine. We've had more experience with Donghack across the season.
Yeah, they have relied on Donghack heavily when they can rely on the Winston and the Wrecking Ball play over in Korea. But in most recent times, Jack, it's actually been a bit more off-tank heroes. The Zarya, the D.Va has been getting involved, and that doesn't really favor GK style. They touched on it on the desk. Kuffa might have to play more of the Ram here, and as I'm predicting the win condition for GK in this matchup, I kind of want to play versus Jasmine, just recognizing how good Donghack is on those other heroes. So even though Kuffa, he would like to play comfort when it comes to the dive heroes, I would actually say slow it down in this case, rely more on the Ramatra, and maybe Ultraviolet can, you know, play a fantastic Wu Yang as well.
I was going into a classic. We're going to Ilios as our first map, and wow, Winston banned for T1.
Wow.
Their map pick and a Tracer for GK.
Yeah, really interesting bans coming out here. GK immediately respecting their opponent with a Tracer ban here. Cest obviously popped off really hard for T1 in the previous matchup against Twisted Minds. Not
Okay,
quite
fair
able
enough,
to
Banu.
overcome that hurdle and finish off that series against Twisted Minds. That's why they find themselves here in the lower bracket. But I think Maimon is quite happy not to take the Tracer matchup in this series because he is so flexible. He can play the Echo if need be. I would even say that they could play Ramatra May if need be. Obviously not here on Ilios, but you will see GK rely on Maimon's flexibility a lot in this one.
Yeah, it's played so many heroes over the course of the season. And that was a terrifying loss for T1 the other day.
It was.
The reverse sweep and a full reverse sweep too on Junkertown. Like, that is old New Junk City. That is not a spot you want to be in, like crumbling at the final hurdle. And I spoke to Swingchip, actually, GM of T1, before this series started and saying, like, look, is there any nerves there? Is the confidence still high within the team? And he says, yes, like, we've played for so long in the stage before, like, it's fine. It was just a small hiccup. But as we load in onto Ilios, this first to two in the lower round final, it's a deadly one too, because you don't get very many chances to make mistakes here, Johnny.
There's no room for error. There's no room for error. You lose 2 maps and you're out of the tournament. Typically, of course, we play in a best of 5 series, so you have to get to 3. But given that bans are so powerful, map picks are so powerful, limiting your ability to rely on some of your go-to maps, and if you are a loser, you just get the one choice, right? That is going to impact, you know, the level of upsets we see throughout the tournament. And I actually think that, yes, I agree with the desk, T1, they should be the heavy favorites in this one. If you just compare their record against the top dogs like Falcons, Crazy Raccoon, they are 3-9 in their history against those teams. The rest of the world is like 2-54 or something. You know, they're just not able to get down the top dog. But I think that's T1's ability. The fact that they're at least able to compete with 2 of the best teams in the world. But in a 1-2 format, GK, they stand a real chance here to upset.
Winston has been such a big pick for GK. Gates are opening first to do. T1 and GK head-to-head. Donghack rolling out on a classic here. We've got the Wrecking Ball, Sombra.
Yeah, and it's going to be so powerful to grab all this space on the map immediately. You can see Donghack here, kind of posturing here. You want to get this point control early and then rely on Wrecking Ball's survivability and mobility as it gets into the backline. Ultraviolet, obviously a big target on the Wu Yang here.
There's actually a little manual hack on cover. Virus connects as well. Jagger Ball's going to be good there to waylay the push for any target that doesn't end up getting hacked. Donghack 1,000 HP in the backline already. They get another manual hack connecting with the tank player, but doesn't really matter in the end. A double tap onto lethal though. It's the first blood for T1 as Donghack just being a menace in the backline, just unable to gain that space that GK they're trying to push up, but there's just too many obstacles in their way.
Yeah, it's devastating to get that first pick, and Lethal is going to swap over to the Freya. Some extra mobility to navigate these dives coming in. Freya is going to be a go-to hit scan choice in a matchup like this, but Maimon is trying to at least put some pressure onto Donghack here. You need to find a way to get this Wrecking Ball out of your backline.
It's so tough, and then Zesh just kind of hanging around the side. Tough to go coast as well. You will get booped off, and the Mega Health Pack is going to be permanently hacked. They're going to try for it at least. Maimon teleporting away at 37 HP. Goes for the Mega Health Pack, hacking it up. Getting his health topped up again, but again, they need to be able to take space, but GK, they're not finding any of it.
Yeah, they don't obviously have any speed because they're playing this big Wu Yang composition, and they're going to get pretty close to ultimate. So Maimon finds a crucial space pick onto Donghack, and that is going to grant them so much space. You can see them walk up here. They're going to put pressure onto this point. And now, T1, how do they contest without their Wrecking Ball? Donghack is on his way back, but it's a crucial cap for GK.
Yeah, I mean, they just don't. Wrecking Ball is so easy to get back to the point quick, so you lose any more, it's more of a stagger, so you get at least half a fight out of T1.
Ultimate's coming up here. be a big fight here. You can see GK. They are trying to rotate away from this wrecking ball. Always be on the move. Bola shot comes out.
EMP hits Avril. That's a virus too. Good connection from Zest. He's going to keep it going as well. Spots Ultraviolet. Teleports behind him. Virus connects as well as Donghak finishes up. And with Lethal only finding Vigilante, I mean, they're going to have to find something else. Like, in the meantime, that's 3 kills for the Sombra. Zest ends up going down to cover, but Donghak's here with the follow-up. Flip ends up coming in, 36% for GK. For losing Avril that early on to an EMP is not a good look.
It's not a good look indeed, and T1 now still very happy with their ultimate economy. They got double support ultimate here, and Mines are so good at keeping this point contested. So GK will try to walk up here. Eyes on Maimone here, actually. Has an EMP in hand. Can you shut down Skew there potentially? Comes out.
He connects with 2, in fact, and yeah, Brown instantly deleted. Headshot with the virus, you take that. Another kill onto Skew, the other hack target.
Poznaj headshot ku virusu, what?
Still though, gaining percent. Donghak's in a little bit of a sticky situation, or a spiky situation with that jagged wall.
We get into a bit of a tricky spot here for GK as well. Knowing that T1 has double support ultimate, and you only have a rally in hand. You need to go for a bit of a crazy play here. Can you find a manual hack onto one of the supports? See some follow-up from Lethal onto that Freya. We talk a lot about Lethal's playmaking ability on that hit scan. Well, this would be the time.
Yeah, I worry now, though, this Sombra ult charge coming through from Zesh, Johnny. Because of how early they used it, they're going to get one for the final fight. Donghak trapped, though. Jagger Ball looks like Skew was there to the rescue, shooting it as well with the blaster. Ends up spotting out Maimone in a bit of a predicament, but uses that translocator to get away. Here comes the rush now from Vigilante onto the point. How did GK even respond to this? A nice little headshot onto the backline, forces Maimone to use that teleport again to go invisible. Sound barrier comes in response to
Mamma mia, cum alle queste
this rally, but Ultraviolet's already dead. That overhealth didn't have a chance to build up. Ends up spotting Proud there, but quickly zipping away. Jumps up to the high ground, and Skewed finds 2 on the Lucio.
And this is going to be a tricky spot now for GK. Skewed is just popping off on the Lucio here, and it's going to be a
4th. Okay, Skewed, 4 kills for the Lucio.
Okay, that's not every day. Pop off, King.
They're going to be able to get back in time, of course. They got one more fight, but they're running into the CMP.
They're running into the CMP, and T1, they want to fight aggressively here. Make it difficult for GK to contest this point.
See if Kafka can find an isolated kill, but Zest wants to go early. Pings out, Lethal, looking for Kuffer. Translocate to the high ground. Donghak's in a good spot to follow up from this as well. EMP, it does connect, and it connects with 2. Cover behind the jagged wall, but it's Lethal to fall first.
Okay.
A nice little tidal blast there from Ultraviolet, but it can't save you from Proud.
Beat it!
T1. They're going to watch GK off of Ruins and claim the first round.
And that is what T1 does best. Playing the Wrecking Ball is a hero that GK will need to find a way to navigate throughout this series. But if I'm GK, I can't put too much emphasis into this singular round. Coming up next, Lighthouse. Well, these are the most important rounds for GK to really look towards if you're going to play this hazard composition. Find some nice rotations, because Ruins really is the best point here for a hero like Wrecking Ball. And so I do think that T1 might have to change up their composition here slightly.
Garantat, Wrecking Ball e foarte bun aici.
Looks like an anomaly on the scoreboard with Donghak with the most deaths on the team with 3. But Proud, Skewed, Vigilante only dying once each. Zest doing a lot of work too on the Sombra. Very high damage for the Sombra.
Yeah, I mean, GK, they were put under so much pressure without that speed, right? So Admiral is going to make this swap over to the Lucio here, actually. And it's going to be a Echo Freya composition from GK. We've been seeing this a lot in the meta because of the mobility both of these heroes have. GK here, contesting this coast side, trying to wrap around this enemy team. But Donghak, he doesn't want to give up these side lanes. They're already on top of GK.
Yeah, Lethal, Maimone's super low already. Donghak had an aerial view over the Echo. Gets the slam on a couple of people as well. There's the shield. Pretty chilling now is Donghak. And Kuffer overextending a little bit. As Donghak was going for that triple slam, Johnny, Kuffer was trying to make his own space. But unfortunately, the virus hit.
Yeah, they're in a tough spot here because GK, as you can see, they're kind of stacked up together because Donghak did such a great job at just pressuring them away from the Maxis Vigilante. Just gets another 3K. Okay, the supports on T1. They're decidedly having a great game here.
They're looking good.
But if I'm GK here, I need to find a way to utilize my speed to get on top of one of these individuals. Looking at T1's composition, of course, who do you really contest? There's so much mobility on the side of T1 that you really have to capitalize on a mistake, maybe a bad translocator, Proud, not able to navigate his way around here.
Yeah, Kuffer tried to use that Jagged Wall there to stop the escape with the translocator, but didn't connect. That did, though. And Neethel's already dead. Already Donghag's in the back line, yeah, hitting the slam. It's so tough to move against this comp, but even with the speed, Johnny, I'm gonna keep it real with you, Chief. It ain't working.
It's not working for the minute. I mean, Lucio, in these tight corridors, it is a fairly diveable hero.
Oh, whoops. Zest?
Whoopsie.
Okay, my bad.
Can we get a replay on that one? What are you cooking, Chief?
He's chilling, he's chilling.
All right. We'll be back in a moment.
I'm joking, I'm joking. EMP coming up for Zesto pretty quickly. Duplications have been pretty crazy as of late. We saw a Lucio one earlier.
My God.
Admiral takes a double shot. Yeah, goodbye. Oh, that was nasty. A good little duplication from Maimone, but didn't exactly want to use it there. Napolis connecting with him mid-air. Can he get good use of these mines? Ends up using them in cage, but Lethal already falls down. A rush onto the point's good for GK, but again, Johnny, no real estate, no space at all to use it.
They're under so much pressure, and you can see here, 90% time is ticking for GK.
Maimone goes down to his own mines there, and well, 95% for T1, and they are routing Kuffa, and that is an alt-jax as well. As T1 just decimate GK. That was not close.
Wow, that was lopsided. That is what we're expecting from T1, the third seed coming out of Korea. And we know this going into the matchup that GK, they are going to struggle against a Titan like Donghag, proven it so many times before on the global stage that he's the tank to be reckoned with, and GK had no answer for the wrecking ball.
The head-to-head looks good. Maybe Kuffa giving too much respect there to Donghag. Just peep the stats, Vigilante and Proud. Only dying once each. Oh, this is looking good. Avast is going to look pretty happy, I can tell you that.
Oh, Avast is just having a blast backstage. Yeah.
In his little cubby.
Peep that co-stream.
Yeah. 19-4 as well from Zest on the Sombra. His EMPs as well were magical. Connecting with the right target every time.
Yeah, and I think Zest is showing that he's having a bit of a breakout tournament here. We obviously know that Zest has been incredibly talented, performed for many years in overseas sports, but primarily been the tracer. Zest in his career hasn't really been able to overcome some of these really tough opponents, right? To gain that hugely important accolade, something he can look back on, a big achievement in his career. But in this tournament, like, his venture was absolutely fantastic against Twisted Minds. Now, you're seeing it on the Sombra. We know what he's capable of on the tracer, of course.
Legend standing behind them as well.
Yeah.
Flutter. See where we go to next.
Over for the MVP, yeah, 2020. He's got the Echo skin.
He's got the Echo skin, yeah. Base dancer, Johnny. Now look, I did a kind of swing. Give me something spicy from T1. She's like, no.
Spicy.
Yeah, I was like, please, you know, they've got to say something a little bit spicy. You're in the lower bracket. You've got to have some fighting talk in you, right? And she's like, no. We just got to follow in the steps of Faker, be humble, and just respect our opponents. But that round was anything but, in all honesty.
Following the steps of Faker.
Be humble.
I love that. A little T1 vibes. Yeah, that's a good shout. Yeah, I mean, look, this is a team that I think are yet, not only speaking about Cest, but T1 as a whole, really. We always talk about the potential they're showing, their capabilities when it comes to playing so many different compositions. But this is the time on the global stage where you gotta start popping off, where you gotta start taking down some big opponents. GK, for T1, I feel like it's just another kind of like roadblock here in their path in the lower bracket. They have their eyes set on like the bigger teams here, Team Falcons, Tracer Raccoon, Twisted Minds now. They want to get revenge on them. I think anything but top 3 here for T1 would be a little bit of a disappointment.
Yeah, and if they can push all the way to the finals as well, I mean, look at the finalists throughout the year. Crazy Raccoon, Team Falcons. If T1 then take the very end, it's like Korean dominance throughout the year. That was a big breakout from EMEA as well, to be fair. At the mid-season, like, EMEA showed up, and they're continuing to do so. And when you looked at the patch notes, Johnny, what was your kind of immediate thought? Because mine was like, oh, well, NA, they rely a lot on this, like, ball. Winston, dive, like, we want to play super quick. But, like, the map pool ended up changing here. The patch kind of shifted towards a little bit of RAM. Well, mostly RAM, sorry. A team like
okay.
Like, oh, NA, like, especially a team like GK, looked a bit weak coming in.
Yeah, GK have struggled as of recent. They weren't really able to pick up the pace in stage 3 as much. And this is actually really interesting as it relates to that. We see a Ramatra ban come out from T1 after GK picking Kiriko first here as their ban select. Because Kaffa, he's not really been able to play the dive heroes like we talked about, the Winston, the Wrecking Ball. And so he's been forced to pick up a lot of that Ramatra, and now T1 removing his optionality to play that hero. We gotta ask ourselves the question, like, what is Kaffa going to play in this matchup? Are we again going to see the Hazard come out? Well, it's a different map from Ilios, it's New Junk City. Dongak will be forced to play something else, but the Hazard, it can be navigated. T1, they should be able to find a game plan here to deal with whatever tank Kaffa is going to roll out on.
Bit of mental warfare as well from GK maybe. Look, you got reverse swept on this map and it ended up costing you the series yesterday. We take you here and maybe shades of yesterday are still in the forefront of your mind.
But even more mind games. This is a map that T1 picked against Team CC as well. So you're saying, oh, you picked New Junk City? Well, we think we know a game plan, how to counter whatever you brought out then. We're going to pick New Junk City ourselves. Now, noteworthy on that, of course, was that Viper was actually subbed in for T1 in that series against Team CC. That time playing the Genji, and you saw Viper was top 5 when it comes to the eliminations. Leaderboard previously, before this series. And so T1 not subbing in Viper this time, maybe they have something different in store with Zest.
Still love the Venture right now.
The Venture is so good.
Especially on this map as well. A lot of corners to play around and your escape routes. I mean, to be fair, on a lot of Flashpoint maps, there's a ton of small escape routes that you can play with the Venture. It's not like a one-track linear, like a payload map or anything. It's like, well, I can go this way, I can go that way. There's a lot of easy flanks, so Venture works out really well. It's been good to see them actually in the meta a little bit more.
Yeah, and especially when it comes to contesting the point. That is what Venture does so well, right? Is that you can reliably have a Venture burrow onto the point, keep it contested, not allowing the flip. But then also the mobility that Venture has, you can get into the enemy backlines. You can kind of juggle the point by yourself, and that frees up your tank player. You don't have to sacrifice your tank positioning just to keep the point contested. You can let your flex damage player do that quite reliably. And so Venture has really earned themselves a slot in this meta, not only for countering this Metra, but also for some extra objective pressure.
Just thinking too, like, well, the Kiriko is banned here as well. Like, Zest play Venture. Like, if you look at the rest of the hero roster, a little bit more vulnerable. Kiriko definitely the best at kind of getting away from that pick. So we'll see if Zest ends up rocking this. Dongak, little Mauga gameplay.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, last time it was Jasmine playing this map, and so T1 are changing things up here quite drastically on New Junk City.
Îmi place că e așa dedicat, omul rămâne încă pe Hazard.
It's not like, especially on Flashpoint, it's definitely not the worst pick.
No.
Very front to back.
And I mean, T1, they're so comfortable playing so many different styles. They really are a jack of all trades, so they like to play the Symmetra themselves. Now they're just going to TP out. So
jack of all motherfucking trades.
From T1 here. But the Mauga is going to be really aggressive. GK, they need to scout this out and beware, because this overrun will come in quick.
Yeah, again, it's going to be tough for them to claim space.
Here it goes.
Ultraviolet's 1 HP already. Ends up backing up. A little flank here from Maimon, but UV already dead. Zest finds another in lethal. Donghack, cardiac overdrive, hits the overrun, gets out of there. And now GK, they're on a little island here. Kaffa looking for the next entrance for T1, spots it through main. But where's the staying power? Maimon with the 1v1 against Zest, and Zest wins it.
Yeah, with Maimon going down, GK, they have to retreat. They have to wait for their Venture player to get back here. So allows T1 to get the point cap. And now they have the optionality of how aggressive do we want to play here. Maimon swaps over to the Echoes. You have to be aware of the aerial presence from that hero. But you can see T1, they're poking, they're prodding. They're looking for any kind of opportunity here to go aggressive and capitalize on a positional mistake.
Tough for the Echo to excel though in these low ceilings. Ultraviolet is in T1 sights right now. Managed just to get away with that rushing torrent. And there's the flip, kind of free actually. GK just end up flipping the map on them completely. Proud 1 HP, has to back off. Nice shot from Ultraviolet. Overextends though. Goes down to Zest.
It's traded back and forth. It's a 3v3 actually. Donghack and 2 supports for T1. GK has the point cap.
Nice Jagger ball. Cover gets slammed, and in fact, might end up going down here as well. Has to get out. Yeah, Violet leaps away or tries to. Kaffa dead, and this is an easy point flip for T1. No one standing up against the Mauga here.
Yeah, a bit of a mistake from Kaffa there. Playing overly aggressive. You gotta realize you're 2 men down, but pushes up. Donghack Just a bit of a 3-point cap there in T1. Now with ultimates on the board, they can decide how to play this one. I'd actually like to see them navigate it a little bit. Oh, it's another big pick from Proud here. Individual plays from T1.
Yeah, and they got window as well. They can play far up if they want it. Downpour. Vigilante doesn't get out of the way though. Mymone's on the flank. Standby from Skew does end up hitting up 4 as Cuffer goes for the leap onto the Sojourn but doesn't connect. And now Venture and Zest just trying to find this kill, but yeah, well, unfortunately, Zest, the spawn door is right next to Lethal, so should be safe. Cap does end up coming through, but Donghak staking his claim again.
It at least buys GK enough time here to get back and have a proper fight. Both support ultimates used for either team here, but Lethal, with this overclock, Astos Proud, can you navigate the flanks here? Find yourself an opportunity to get some crucial picks.
The cage though, Johnny, like how do you actually deal with this right now if you're GK? An overclock 2 from Lethal to try and melt through it, but Cuffer's already down. And unfortunately, Lethal and the rest of GK go the same way. And that'll be the first point to T1.
Okay, if we still want to be optimistic, it is the first to 2. And so GK, they're in a world of trouble right now, facing defeat on this map. But they should be better. Well, I'm contextualizing, Jack. Okay. I'm contextualizing. Okay. They should be better off on the remaining points on this map because they want to pay this, you know, longer range Wuyang kind of composition. And that initial point is so difficult for them to execute on. This should be the time where they start to gain some momentum.
Nice flank here. Double shot, no, it doesn't quite get Lethal. Still hunting for heads. Lethal with a very dangerous peek. Proud doesn't want to stay any longer. Jagged Wall could block his escape as the dude from Mymone ends up copying the Malga, but no free cage. Good focus fire, but they still lose Proud. 4v5, T1 still in this. Maybe not anymore though. Zest down, and there's the first cap on point B.
And T1 is in a really awkward composition here, playing the Juno and the Lucio. Not something you see too often. Obviously a lot of speed involved there. But GK, I think they should be able to capitalize on this. You kind of have to peel away, you gotta back off, you gotta be wary of this Mauga walking up. But as soon as you survive that initial overrun, you should be able to capitalize with all that damage output from your Sojourn and Echo.
Not a healing from Vigilante. This orbital ray is a nasty. GK have to watch out. They're a little bit further behind than they'd like to be right now. There's the Vital Leap into the backline, and wow, Proud just got deleted. Actually one tap. And it's going to keep Cuffer in the fight as well. Tidal Blast, that's the knockdown onto Skew. The reset for T1.
Yeah, this is huge. Cuffer with a couple of great plays there, and Ultraviolet's Tidal Blast to back him up. This is going to be the GK's at 80% here. That's a great pick.
What?
Nu verificați în chat
touch this point. And now T1, they just got surrender. There's no way for them to win the second point.
Yeah, they're backing off and they know it. Wow, Zest just get randomly picked. Ultraviolet water bending those orbs around the corner. All right, there's the point. However, Johnny, that's actually a really insane point here for T1. A very fast rotation since they backed off so early.
Absolutely, and they have double support ultimate here. Let's see how they play it. Should be tons of aggression.
În momentul ăsta poate să fie meciul oricui. Pe New Jump City au dovedit ăștia că au făcut
He just dashes off the map, pops the OC, thought he could be the difference maker. But unfortunately,
ăștia au dovedit că fiecare joacă bine pe harta asta, deci multă baftă.
Yeah, reaping the rewards of their ultimate economy is T1 and Proud finds the last
poate să fie meciul oricui. Asta poate fi meciul oricui pe harta asta. Dar meciul total, tot pariul meu, s-au pus pariurile, dar chiar s-au pus pariurile. Nu s-au pus pariurile încă. Pariul meu e 100.000 pe T1. T1 au reușit să domine până când au jucat împotriva la... Nu mai știu la cine a jucat împotriva. Să mai aveam ultima rundă și câștigau. Dar s-a egalat și pe urmă au dat-o în sânge.
Maybe even a cage too, but it looks like they're going to try and just navigate this. He's going to get cage eventually and trap Donghak in here, but Mymone is so low they'll just give you the full health bar, not anymore. But still they kill Skewed. A decent flip for GK with Donghak dying last.
Yeah, GK regains control here.
No.
And now they can play all these wide angles here with their damage players, and they can always look for these picks, right? Echo is going to be a really good hero at getting on top of the backline of T1, playing that Juno-Lucio composition, and capitalize on getting picks before T1 successfully rotate to the point in the first place.
Cage coming through from T1 as well.
Bagă Cage pe... puteam să joc, bagă pe Hazard.
there's no support there, Johnny. Look at this.
Da, nu, Hazard, dacă pune ulta mereu pe Hazard moare garantat. Scapă de el fără dar și poate. Trebuie să se schimbe de pe Hazard. Kafa nu joacă bine Hazard deloc. Sau nu a fi problema el că nu joacă bine. Își ia counter prea mult. Sau nu știu dacă e el că joacă prea defensiv cu Hazard. Cu Hazard trebuie să joci foarte agresiv.
Mimo finds two, but is actually enough, Johnny, because Des cleans him up in the end.
That's how GK gotta play the composition. You gotta look for individual plays, but that time maybe a little bit too much, too late. And T1 at 80%
Au preluat
and
punctul,
counting.
bravo, mă.
Kafa
Bravo,
should be able to
băieții
get
mei.
back here for a
Mamă,
last
băieții mei, let's
second
go!
Oh, Donghag's back on the ball, man.
Donghag și încă un tip era de pe Insta, el nu joacă în e-sporturi. Ăștia doi, cei mai buni player pe Wrecking Ball care i-am putut vedea. Oh, shit!
A good downpour is going to lock Skewed in place. Proud finds his one, but GK find the fight.
That's massive from Lethal. That's exactly what you need from your hitscan player. Being able to win a fight with a couple of picks like that. And I'm not sure I love the Wrecking Ball.
Ce-a fost slash-ul ăla?
Awkward composition for T1 to be on. Now, they have double support ultimate, and if they're able to build these, they should be able to win this next fight.
Ultraviolet's just in a 1v1. He needs help.
In trouble, yeah.
Okay, they're going to be able to get the touch.
Oh, they got it!
Wait.
L-au luat, băga mea.
Miscom there, maybe. I mean, I thought Donghag was maybe going to roll towards the point.
What about Sif? You have a venture player.
Yeah, you have a venture, you have a ball. Like, Skewed ended up falling, but that's a mistake from T1.
That just can't happen in a situation like this. You have the ultimates required. You gotta pick onto the Wu Yang player, T1, with another mistake there. And now Donghag finds himself on this Wrecking Ball.
Nu trebuie să o lase pe Eco să dea ulta, sau dacă dă ulta măcar să facă cumva să dea prost. Trebuie să scape de Eco, să scape de Eco cât de repede posibil. Dacă scapă de Eco și dă... Bravo, 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 mă! Bravo! Asta ziceam, au scăpat bine de ea. E GG, punctul luat. GG.
The economy for T1 at this point as well, Johnny. It is looking good.
Yeah, really good stuff. Just winning the fight based on the orbital ray alone. But it's so fascinating them playing this Juno Lucio because they gotta be so quick to
ține
get these
maxim
kills
până
early.
la
And now you have a
40,
stun
dacă nu chiar 50 și pe urmă cred că o să fie un pic
tactical aggression here,
contested.
pushing outside
Sau
the
dacă
point.
reușești să-i țină în
It's all about getting
afară
on top of your
tot
opponent.
timerul,
One missed
e
fly from
GG.
Lethal and
Bine,
it could be all
2-2, că pe urmă se joacă până la 3.
He redeemed himself from earlier on, of course, after sliding off the map with the OC.
Să dea...
There's the orbital ray used pretty early, but Team 1 are going to respond with the sound barrier and instant kill onto Abril is going to be good for one. He jumps up to the high ground. There's going to be a tidal blast. That Proud now's trying to get away.
Bravo!
Oh, knife onto Lethal.
No, e moartă, Sojourner.
No,
e vie! Oh!
Cuffer down and well.
Foaie! Da, am avut dreptate, l-au dat back cap.
Yeah, and GK haven't been able to find quite the same momentum.
Nu da ulta, te rog eu, nu fi prost și da ulta. Ține. Dong, ține ulta, te rog eu, doamne. Te rog eu, tată, ține ulta aia, nu risipi ca fraierul, te rog eu.
Try to get some rotations from inside this point. You want to fend away from this
puțin mai încet ăsta.
Nice headshot actually.
Așa.
Manages to get the double slide up onto the high ground, but still searching for more. Half HP has to get healed up, but that's the headshot's the only thing he's going to get. Minds there, separate the team, but looks like the
Nu prea e bună ulta aia, dar hai. Dar nici Kafa n-a făcut prea multe cu ulta aia. Nici Kafa n-a făcut prea multe.
There's still 99 for T1. They can't afford any mistakes now.
GK gonna try to run this point
back. Fallback, așteptați-l pe Donghang să se spawneze și plecați odată cu ultimata lui Juno.
See if you can get some early picks with your Sojourn player. Make the rotations difficult for T1. Who are coming up
să intre de cu Wrecking Ball în site, să-i dea Juno ulta, să stea, să-și facă treaba.
What can you cook up with this full spawn with no Susu on the field?
Nu prea ai ce să faci cu puls. Da, de ce vorbesc pentru echipa aia altă?
Orbital ray, like you said, available now, Johnny. 41 straight across the high ground, but Proud's already dead.
Să se retragă ball, să se retragă ball pe ultă.
Well, T1, they've got Donghag in the front lines, but there's no kills to this orbital ray. And there comes the tidal blast as well. Kuffer looking for a target to knock down, but doesn't end up finding anybody. A little bit too elusive at T1 right now, but the rally from Rabble is going to be good for another.
Mamă!
And GK are going to take them here.
New Junk City is
Nu
there.
te
We're going
fucking
to a
cred.
map 3.
Nu te
What an
cred.
impressive performance on New Junk
E
City from
1-1.
GK.
Bă!
Showing some momentum on their own map choice.
No.
Kaffa gets going on the hazard, and you can see the individual playmaking. Lethal, Maimon, Ultraviolet contributing on the Wuyang. This is what
Dă-vă
GK is all
dracu să
about.
vă ia.
Poking and prodding around the flanks, doing some playmaking, but T1, I gotta question that Lucio Juno composition.
Au avut și mai mult scor decât ei, în pula mea.
Commit to when you find yourself in a loser bracket match in first.
Păi nu știu câte kill-uri are Proud. Proud împotriva lui Little. Ah, ba nu. Little a avut cele mai multe, da, într-adevăr, dar... Nu știu, tot ei au avut scor mai mare decât echipa adversă, dar tot ei au pierdut. Deci nu pot să înțeleg logica asta.
Is this map like their
Nu pot să
kryptonite?
înțeleg.
New Junk City not looking good for T1 so far. Map number 3 coming up next.
I hate to say it, Jack, but it comes down to being clinical on land in these major tournaments, not making those kind of mistakes. And I think from T1, just looking back at that map,
Da, a jucat